Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, House of Havoc proudly presents their podcast tag team champions of the world. The big guy, Chris Johansson, the muskrat Alicino, and as always, I'm that J-I-M-M-Y, the death of Kayfabe. What up and welcome back, everybody, to the death of Kayfabe. Today we are doing the January 2021 recap, and I believe we're going to start with WWE and the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm. So, the Royal Rumble, I guess it was last week at this point, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go match by match, or you wanted to start
No.
with the Rumbles
This
themselves?
is just more current day. What's going on right now in the landscape of WWE? So obviously we're going to bring up the Rumble, right? So the main thing was.
Well, my point is when we talk about the Rumble, we're going to discuss like the.
Do you want to? Do you want to?
No, we don't.
I mean, we could do it quickly. I don't have
All
that
right,
much
we can
to
do it.
talk about everything.
No, we could do it.
I mean,
So
I think the two men's title matches were good matches and important. I think the undercard. I mean, the Miz and Edge. We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah.
I fell asleep.
Dewdrop and
no, I'm okay with not
yeah,
talking
we don't
about
have to talk
So
about
Reigns and Rollins open up the show. Rollins comes out to the Shield entrance, full on Shield entrance, attire, the whole nine. Reigns comes out to his Samoan heritage. What do you want to call it?
Well, that's his new theme.
Yeah, 100%. But nothing changed. Nothing changed. Nothing changed for the tribal chief, right?
No, it was very way too long, by the way.
Comes out alone, right? Usos weren't there.
Usos were banned from ringside.
All right, I thought the match was fantastic. Like you said, I don't know if it definitely wasn't a 5-star match, but the way it was presented and the emotion that they put in, and Rollins kind of kept going back to the fact of I love you, and then almost mocking him about the breakup of the Shield, and I think that was a huge dynamic. I think Reigns not being able to beat him still, and kind of losing via disqualification, but retaining the title. That was a really good way to do it. It was smart booking, I believe, in my opinion. I just thought after seeing that, I had a different opinion on what would happen later on in the men's. Because I thought now somehow Rollins would be involved in Mania with Reigns, right? So that's what I was thinking.
That's my main issue with the build for this match. It was a month long. I mean, that's arguably two of your top stars in the company, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, with so much history. They should have had maybe started the build to a WrestleMania main event with the two of them at the Rumble, and at least had a 3-month period to build this up, because there's so much history with these two guys.
It wasn't the plan.
No,
none of this was planned at all. Everything got a monkey wrench thrown into it when Roman Reigns got COVID at day one.
I don't feel like there was a plan.
The plan was to, first of all, so
I think the plan has been. I think it's Lesnar Reigns this entire time.
I was super excited to watch this Royal Rumble. Sal Iacono, Jimmy Kimmel, and Bill Simmons' cousin on the Bill Simmons podcast this week stopped like what they were talking about football and whatever, baseball lockout, whatever else. Said the Royal Rumble is in the top 3 sports moments of the year every year. It's Super Bowl, March Madness, the Royal Rumble. He was like, there's only a few things that gets the family together. Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas gifts, the Royal Rumble. The only times my kids want to hang out with me now. It's almost impossible to fuck up the Royal Rumble, and this Royal Rumble was one of the worst I've seen in recent memory.
I'm going to argue that. I'm going to argue that because I think there's this expectation with the Royal Rumble, and if the fans don't get what they expect out of the Royal Rumble, because what is it that you're looking for when you watch the Rumble? Like, what are the things that...
As a fan on the couch or as a fan in the stadium? Because it's different for me.
Either way. Like, when you go to a Royal Rumble, you have an expectation. Like, going into a Royal Rumble, everybody... This is, in my opinion, people expect surprises. Mm-hmm. This Rumble had it. None. I mean, Shane
is not a surprise to me.
And was Drew McIntyre, because he had been out for the last couple months, was he a big surprise?
No.
I mean, Lesnar coming out at the end, was that really a surprise?
No.
So automatically, because your expectation is you want the Diesel coming out, putting the glove on, getting in the Rumble. You want AJ Styles walking out because it's you want this giant surprise that's going
Bubba Ray Dudley in 2016.
Well, exactly.
We fucking freaked out when the Lightning hit. He came in at 3 in Philly.
So automatically, if you go into a Rumble, you're expecting who's going to be this. Like Jeff Jarrett, for me, That was 2 years ago when McIntyre won the Rumble. When Jeff Jarrett came out, big pop for me. Love Jeff Jarrett.
I popped hard for
So
JEFF.
that's, again, the expectation is that the Royal Rumble should have some surprises. So when now this Rumble had no surprises, huge letdown automatically. And then the next thing is you want the way the Rumble used to be was that it was the propeller to WrestleMania. So you're going to take a guy that you want to see in the main event, win the Royal Rumble, get to WrestleMania. And Vince and the writing team went back to the safe booking of having Brock Lesnar win. So again, huge letdown.
I don't have a problem with the way it was booked. Like I said, you asked us like the Thursday before the show, who do you guys got? And this was before Ronda. I mean, the rumors were there, but it was before everyone was on. Like Ronda's definitely coming, but enough people had said it where I wasn't being that ridiculous. But I said Ronda, and then someone's gonna screw someone out of their world title match. The one who gets screwed is gonna win the Rumble. And that's how it happened, and that's fine because they wrote themselves into a corner. COVID happened. They weren't prepared. My main problem is that all of the effort is on which is great. It's great. The Lesnar Reigns Heyman program has been amazing. One of the best things in pro wrestling right now. The only good thing about WWE, but that's because it's one of the only things they care about.
Well, it's the way you build the story.
The whole show from start to finish was to build Reigns Lesnar. And now we have Bobby Lashley with the belt. He didn't look any better for winning that match. He didn't come off looking any better. And he's probably just going to drop the belt to Lesnar at Chamber.
Well, that match was used as a jumping off point for the Reigns and Lesnar feud.
Right, but I don't think we ever get here if there isn't the COVID thing. Right? So if the COVID thing a month ago doesn't happen with Roman Reigns, what is the state of the WWE Championship right now? Because it didn't seem like they had much of a plan.
I think this is the course. I think this has been the course the whole time. I think they've been building this Brock and Roman story. And I think as fans, I think Vince is taking steps in the right direction. You know what I mean? Like, this is more long-term booking than we've seen in
100%.
A decade.
That's why I said I it's not the booking because it's not. I don't have a problem with the way it was booked. My other big problem with the Rumble, and this is a sign of all of the recent cuts. One, there was nobody from NXT in the Rumble for the first time in a while. That was done on purpose because they played with, from what I read, a big Braun Breaker moment. Actually, him winning at one point was played with, but they decided, I think, one, he's too green, and two, keep all the NXT guys off.
You know what's funny is the 1993 Royal Rumble, Yokozuna won it and went to, that was the first Rumble that the winner went to WrestleMania. The original idea was that Scott Steiner was going to win that Royal Rumble, and they were going to put the rocket ship on the back of Scott Steiner, and he was going to be, so way before Papa Pump, way before he cut his hair and all that stuff. That was the initial plan, and I think that they're sorry that they didn't build that star and they went with Luger instead of him. So they could have done that now with even though Breaker's Rick's son, but it's still in that Steiner family.
Mm-hmm.
Breaker, he'll get his time though. He's young and he's green still. But the issue is that I think you're about to say 6 tag teams, 4 tag teams, 8 guys that are in. None of them are going to win.
Bad Bunny, Johnny Knoxville,
and no problem. No, I said Bad Bunny did amazing.
Yeah,
took a few great bumps, did his job. Balor sitting at home, perfectly healthy scratch. Why?
Where's Apollo Crews?
And Cesaro,
healthy scratch. Why?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's what I'll say. When you mentioned Whitey, 2 big things about the Royal Rumble. The surprise entrance, right? We get that. Like, everybody wants a surprise entrance. But the other thing is, for me, what I look for is I want 6, 7, 8 guys who I could sit there and say, wow, they could win it. Like, I could totally see them walking out with this. And I didn't feel like that at all. There was not a single point after Reigns came out and cost Lesnar the title. I was watching it just to see how Lesnar was going to win, not if Lesnar was going to win. It was already a foregone conclusion, and that's what sucks. I'd like to see the final 4 be 4 guys kind of being built up to that Royal Rumble match where they all deserve it. Okay, is it going to be AJ Styles? Is he going to get his first Rumble win? He's done everything besides win a Royal Rumble. Okay, cool. Is it going to be McIntyre? He never had his moment because it was COVID when he went on his run. Is it going to be a young star like Braun Breaker? That final 4 would have been excellent. You know what I mean?
The final 4 should have been Austin Theory, because that guy is the future of the company.
Okay, I don't like him personally, but that's fine. He is
the future. You're not supposed to like him. I mean,
No,
he's
yeah.
he's doing his job. Drew McIntyre, I think, should have been in there.
Styles.
AJ Styles, and then you could put Lesnar in there, and then that's a very like that's their top 4 guys that are in that Rumble because Reigns isn't in there, Rollins isn't in there.
But then at least I'm sitting there like we all know what I'm about to say, the stare down. Like when the Rumble stops, like, and there's a few guys left, and they're all just kind of looking at each other, like, "All right, it's just us 4." You know that every moment, every Rumble has that. Then I'm sitting there like, "Oh, this is about to be good." Like, here we go. Shane McMahon being in the top 5, like the last 5, that don't do it for me. Like that's instantly like, well, he ain't gonna win, so whatever.
Shane's a terrible wrestler.
Of course,
he's always been a terrible wrestler, but he's gonna find the biggest thing in the arena and jump off of it.
Right, but he's done it now.
It's
and like I don't want to see Shane wrestle anymore.
I'm just pushing it back. You're coming in super hot.
When he came back, it was very cool to see him. I would have much rather seen him not in the wrestler role, but more as like an authority figure role.
Right.
Well, so you know the deal, right?
What?
He was scheduled to be on Raw every week throughout WrestleMania as a heel character. He was going
supposed
to be
have an authority.
He was going to be in the Elimination Chamber match and a major program at WrestleMania.
With?
Don't know. For those of you can't see me, I put my hands up in the air.
This is what I've heard about the Rumble, and then we'll get to the women's after this. But I'll say this is what I've heard. So we heard about Shane McMahon, and originally 3 to 5 months ago, maybe they had Matt Riddle winning it. Did anybody else hear that?
Yeah.
They had originally booked Matt Riddle to win the Royal Rumble.
Well, they're very high on Matt Riddle.
They wanted to do Riddle Orton for the belt at Mania.
Yeah, right. So then that changed.
Makes sense.
When Shane took over production for this, I heard that originally he wanted to win it.
Yes.
And they were like, absolutely not. You're not winning it. I want to come out 1. I want to last the whole time and get eliminated by Lesnar at the end. Absolutely not. That's not happening. And so on and so forth. And
we're not putting you in the same conversation as Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Benoit.
Right. So
I mean, Benoit, they don't even put in the Mysterio was 2 though.
2,
right?
yeah, but still, but
Shinsuke Nakamura's in that conversation.
He won from 1.
What? Not from 1. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just talking about the guys who won from 1. It's Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, and Benoit, but they don't mention Benoit.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they can't
yeah.
So that we know that all those things happen right now. We know, at least we pretty much know that Hardy was asked to come back, right? They said multiple sources cited that he was given a new contract and a Hall of Fame induction this year. I'm assuming he would have been in the Rumble, right?
Hard to say. They.
I mean, from the minute they let him go, in my heart, I never knew he was going back.
This Rumble has been incredibly, but we didn't know he would be clean.
No, I didn't know about. Yeah, but I just figured all the writing was on the wall, whether he was whether he was clean or dirty or whatever the case was. I figured at the end of his contract he was going to wind up somewhere else anyway.
He wants to go be with Matt.
100%.
I think he wants freedom to develop his own character, and
the thing is he'll work a much lighter schedule on AEW because they only film once a week, or maybe
which they're going to have to stop doing that soon.
Soon they're going to have to stop.
They're going to have to start going twice, Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Right. But basically, they fly everybody in on Tuesday. They have their meetings. They do their show on Wednesday, and then they go out. And then maybe because they're not really doing house shows. They're not doing because house shows are kind of non-existent at this point. WWE does like the holiday tour, but there used to be every week. Now the every weekend the indies took over that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, but this is just a situation with WWE got caught with their pants down. I mean they fucked up royally with this.
Yeah, it was a bad Rumble.
They used his past to go forward with getting rid of him at this point. When he had a concussion, it's very clear now that he had a concussion because the drug test came back.
Yeah.
And it's like they fucked up, and they know they fucked up, and they thought, oh, we'll put you in the Hall of Fame. But number one, the two of them should go in the Hall of Fame together first before they go in as singles. You know what I mean?
100%.
And I don't know if Matt gets in as a single.
No, I don't think so.
I think Jeff gets in as a single.
Matt's greatest accolade as a singles competitor is an ECW World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
Unless you want to say the U.S. title's better than that.
Was he IC title champ too or no? I know he was like cruiserweight champ.
I don't know if he was ever IC champ. I know he was U.S. champ, IC champ.
Did he beat Edge for the world title though? Because remember he had that big feud with Edge. You know, after Edge and Lita with Edge and Lita.
WWE like Big Gold.
Yeah.
I don't
think he
know.
might have-
Ant's on it right now. It looks
Mhm.
like so.
Yep, give me.
I don't think I don't think so because there was a Rebby Hardy did a TikTok of all they have every belt he's ever won. They got a replica made of it, like a big
Right.
couple 4 figures for the belt. And I don't remember seeing a world strap. I think the closest to a world heavyweight belt I saw was ECW.
He's a 14-time World Tag Team Champion. He has held the World Tag Team Championship 6 times, the Raw Tag Team Championship 3 times, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship, WCW Tag Team Championship once each, the TNA World Tag Team Championship twice. Singles, he 1 ECW Championship, 2 TNA World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, I didn't think he ever won a WWE World Title.
He doesn't come off to me as a WWE Hall of Famer. I mean, if they're gonna put him in on his
He's
hold
an
on.
Impact Hall of Famer.
Okay.
He is a former United States champion. He is a former cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, I know he had that because he wrestled Ray at 19 when he was version 1.
Yeah.
And I believe that's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was a good run.
I
Stop.
could ride a tornado.
Yeah, that was good.
European champ, hardcore champ, one
Yeah.
time each. And I think that about Andre the Giant Memorial Champion.
He won the Battle Royal. Oh, when he was broken man.
Woken, right?
Broken, yeah.
Delete.
That match with Wyatt was a good match, though.
But oh yeah.
You know the one.
Oh yeah.
We will have to cover that at some point because that was a fun match. The what was it? The Hardy compound match. Or
Yeah.
That was a fun match.
Yeah, they've done that a few times now though. The shit on the Hardy.
It works,
compound.
though.
He did it against Sammy.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Him and Jeff did it.
Oh, he's done it a bunch of times.
Yeah, but they are fun.
They are
And
fun.
those are good matches like that are good ways to keep guys like
So-
Sting working because
Yeah.
it's not the same as
Right.
working a real match.
So-
man, Sting's still working his ass off.
I know.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
jumping off the stage and
Yeah.
shit.
Guy's
like,
nuts. He's almost 70.
I mean, he's an attraction. He can't do it every night, but
No.
it's-
And he's got to be in tag matches.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine though.
Well,
you know?
Darby saves him. You know.
So overall, Royal Rumble match, men's. Give me a 1 to 5. What is your rating on this match? Mine's 1.8.
Yeah, 2.
I'll give it a 3.5.
Wow, that's
Here's my thing. I enjoyed the first half of it thoroughly. I thought AJ coming out when AJ came out and did the Shawn Michaels, he and I'm like, oh, he's gonna go the distance like that because why would he come out and do the Shawn Michaels pose if he wasn't gonna? Because Michaels is the only one to go number 1 twice and win twice, right?
can't confirm.
Okay, I think he might. I know he won in 90.
If he did it twice, then yes, he's the only one to do it.
Yeah, definitely nobody else has done it. Yeah.
I might be wrong on that, but he might have went back-to-back years where he went number 1 and won twice. But he could have also, I think maybe 96 he came out and
So you're saying the ending was the botch part?
I think Johnny Knoxville was a mistake. I'm all for celebrity. I know.
Yeah,
Vince
but
is-
they're in bed with NBC.
No, I understand, but he shouldn't have been in that. They could have done anything.
It's bad.
Anything.
It's bad.
Do a back.
I would have liked Stephen Amell.
People promoting. Yeah, me too.
Well,
But
Stephen Amell's also trained.
That's what I'm saying. Give me a guy who can
Johnny
compete a little
Knoxville's
bit.
a stunt guy, and obviously
that was a stiff shot, though. He sold his ass off for the 30 seconds he was.
Okay,
in.
great.
No,
You should.
And
Like,
guys promoting movies and wrestling is nothing new.
That's not my point. My point is you could still use do a backstage segment. You could do he can be the guest announcer. There's a million things you could do with Johnny Knoxville that doesn't have him in that match.
I think it would have been better keeping him in the match if you had him do a couple of Raws and he started beef with somebody.
he did one Raw.
Did he start beef
Sami
with
Zayn.
anybody?
It was Sammy.
Did Sami Zayn throw him out?
no,
threw
he
Sami
threw
out.
Sami Zayn out.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Here's the thing. My thing is, Mr. T made sense at WrestleMania. Lawrence Taylor made sense at WrestleMania.
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather.
Donald
made
Trump.
sense. Right. Well, yeah, but they used him. He wasn't in the ring wrestling.
No, but they used those characters correctly.
Right. You can have celebrity involvement, like Snooki, which I didn't think she could wrestle, but then she's in there doing cartwheels and shit. Snooki worked it, because she had.
Did
training.
she work WWE or they were all working Impact, right?
No. Well, I think Snooki did WWE. The other ones did.
I
They
know
had
Ronnie,
Robbie
Ronnie,
Lee, right?
and yep.
Yeah. But And again, Bad Bunny, obviously he's been training, and I know that they have a partnership now because I think he's going to be heavily involved for the next couple of years because they love that. They love that celebrity involvement. I mean, it's what WrestleMania was built on, was the celebrity involvement. But just use them properly. Bad Bunny could have came out and sung a song and the fireworks, and that would have been great.
Yeah, but he wants to, though.
I know.
He wants
That's
to.
great for him. But you know what? Finn Balor wants to. Apollo Crews wants
and
to.
I agree. I'm the one
Cesaro. Yeah, I'm just saying. Those guys want to.
I think Balor needs to get the fuck out of Dodge, in my opinion.
They could have put Goldberg. I mean, Goldberg's wrestling at Elimination Chamber. They could have put Goldberg. And I know everybody's sick of Goldberg, but I would rather see Goldberg in there than see Johnny Knoxville. I'd rather see Goldberg than Bad Bunny.
Well, of course.
And any of the guys that you named. Finn Balor, Cesaro, Apollo Crews.
I was going to save this for the second half of the show because it is technically an AEW topic. So we're not going to dive deep, but just one question. If it's Shane O'Mac on Wednesday night, they're definitely in bed together and this is a work the whole time?
No, we have
asking this as a question.
No, we got to.
You want to just wait till we get to it to talk about it?
Let's wait till we get there.
All right.
Because
I thought about, like, Shane's pretty likely.
I think you're incredibly wrong. But
I just think it's a possibility. That's
so we're going to run through the rest of WWE really quick.
Just before we get to that, can I did a little interesting because I was thinking about because I see online there's a lot of people very upset with the Royal Rumble, and I know that the booking now, like what we consider long-term booking, is really working well for them with Roman and Brock. But I did a little where I went and looked at the title history of the WWE and just want to bring something up real quick. So I started, the WWE title was brought out in 1963. So from 1963 to 1969, there was 2 champions. World WWE champion, like the big WWE.
Mm-hmm.
From 1970 to 1979, there was 6 champions. From 1980 to 1989, there was 5 champions. 1990 to 1999, 19 champions. From 2000 to 2009, there was 19 champions. 40 different title switches in the 2000 to 2009. 40 different title switches in 10 years. The issue with the WWE has become this short-term booking. Like I said, with the Roman and the Seth match.
How many champions were there in 2000, 2009?
2000 to 2009, the title changed hands like 40 some odd times. I mean, I could.
But there were 19 different champions.
But just for an example, Triple H started the year with the belt. Then The Rock had it. Then Triple H. Then The Rock. Then Kurt Angle. Then The Rock. Then Stone Cold. Then Angle. Then Stone Cold. Then Jericho. Then Triple H. Then Hogan. Then Taker. Then Rock. Then Lesnar. Then Big Show. Then Angle. And so on. I mean, I could go all the way up and down the list.
Yeah.
What does the title mean? Nothing.
Right.
So you have your storyline with Brock and Roman, but it's not about the title. It's about, because the idea behind the Royal Rumble should be about these are the guys that are going to vie for the championship, And yes, you need to have. I'm not saying a tag team guy should be in there unless you're going to split the tag team and build it, like Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, great tag team. The Street Profits
don't need to be in there.
Why are they in there?
There's no tag team.
Well, Riddle and Orton, I get because.
But
I'm okay with that.
When you're putting, like, in this particular Rumble, I left my notes at work, but I think in this particular Rumble, there was 12 different guys that have been champion. 12 different guys. In the 1992 Royal Rumble, there was, like, 3 guys who had held the title. So just look what the title meant. If only 3 of those guys are holding the title, then it's only a small handful of guys that can win that title. And, like, in the current state, it's like, well, anybody could be champion. Anybody.
I have a weird thing because I feel like it's not hard. Now, as a writer, I feel like it's not hard to build interesting, engaging stories not revolved around a title. And I think that, like you said, if they were able to do that with not only because they've done it with Reigns, right? He's held on to it for a long time. I would love for him to go over Brock Lesnar and hold it for another year. I think that would be really good. I really did. And then I think if they were going to do next year with The Rock and him, let him go over on The Rock and lose it at SummerSlam. 2 SummerSlams from now. Let it. What does it matter, right? And then with the Intercontinental Championship or the U.S. Championship, let these guys hold the belt for a year. Like, make it so when a title change happens, it's a big deal, right?
Well, when I was a kid, like I've said in the past, Hogan had the title from 1984 to 1988.
Bruno Sammartino had the fucking belt for what, 2 straight decades, pretty much.
That's right. That's before my time. I'm just saying, but as a kid, so the title meant so much because the only person that had the title was Hogan, and then Hogan dropped it to Andre, and they had this whole storyline, and then Macho had it, but then it went back to Hogan. So in this span of 5 years, 3 guys held the title.
But that's how it should be, honestly, because it builds up. Like I said, there's so many ways you can build a feud, not revolved around a title. And it shows, though. It shows because with the 24/7 title, like, people need that instant gratification. Like, people watching it need to, like, that to me, although I think they did it very well, and I think Truth did a phenomenal job of kind of bringing in
doing his absolute best to legitimize it on social media, on TV.
Truth is
Ron the Truth Killings is a maybe. I mean, he probably will wind up in the WWE, but in my eyes, he is a business of pro wrestling Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's
very important
as good as it gets
for the last 20 years of pro wrestling as we've seen it. Even if he's not like the guy on TV a lot,
he's the ultimate team player or the ultimate company guy.
Yeah, and he gets it. Right. Like, he gets all aspects.
He gets that
everything.
it's entertainment, and it doesn't take, yes, he can wrestle. You need me to wrestle? Yeah. You need me to tell a joke? Yeah. You need me to run around? Yeah. Like,
if you go back about eight years or so, he had a feud with Cena where they main evented. I think it was called Capital Punishment or something. It was like a pay-per-view that was in Washington, so they called it Capital Punishment, and that program for that 6 weeks or whatever that ran, phenomenal. Like, you believed him as he's going to beat Cena. Like, I went into that pay-per-view, they're going to put the title on.
They're going to do it?
And, like, again, I was being foolish, and I wasn't, like, thinking clearly. But at the same time, it's like, I really honestly believed that this guy was going to be...
Dude, he carried a, 6-week-long program when Pac-Man Jones got suspended for a season went over to Impact and signed there. And then the NFL said, if you lay a finger on anyone, you're done in the NFL forever. And... it was Ron the Truth Killings and Pac-Man Jones, and I forgot exactly who they were feuding with, but he carried the entire program without Pac-Man being able to touch anybody and barely being able to talk. And then they had a tag team match at the pay-per-view where Pac-Man sat on the apron the entire time.
Right.
He got involved by pulling the ropes down, so the guy fell over the ropes.
Right.
Incredible. And then eventually they brought in Consequences Creed.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
Xavier.
Right. But that's what I'm saying, that
this is
they
what
built the 24/7 title around instant gratification, and it has to change titles 150,000 times because it
quickly
makes you feel good. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, I don't want to shit on Dana Brooke because Dana Brooke, I feel bad for her because she tries very, very hard and she's just not that good. But she's the champ, 24/7 champ.
Yeah.
What does that belt mean?
No, nothing.
When R-Truth had it, at least it was an entertaining storyline. He was the Crash Holly of this time period. Because Crash Holly was the hardcore champion who just would sneak in and win all. It was like that was his niche.
Yeah, but then the hardcore championship, I missed the shit out of. I love that title.
Well, here's the issue too. It's like not only does the WWE, because the WWE title should be their number one title. Like the AEW is the number one title, the TNT Championship is the number 2 title, the TBS, and then the Women's Champion, the TBS Champion, and then the tag.
But they do a very good job of making the TNT title feel important. The TNT title at times feels more important than the AEW World title, which might almost be a problem.
No,
I don't. Because Cody's been heavily involved with that, but that's only because Cody can't vie for the World Heavyweight title. Because Cody doesn't want to turn into Dusty. And the fans are trying to turn him into Dusty, but Cody shows up every week and has the best match on the card every time he's there.
Absolutely.
But we're not there yet.
This is what I wanted to say about the Royal Rumble, the Men's Rumble, and the way, like I said, don't have a problem with the booking. The storytelling has been great, all of that jazz. The way it feels is very much like the way the music industry treated music sales from the late 80s through about 2008, where put a lot of work, production, writing, effort into one single, slap it on an album that's trash, and sell the single and the whole album with it.
But that's always been the music business, and I think.
Well, they kind of had to stop once digital became a thing, and you can't buy a full. You don't. The only way to buy music isn't buying a whole album anymore. Now I could just pay $1 for the single on iTunes and fuck the rest of your shit album. And so about 2009 is where music kind of turned around because the accessibility to iTunes changed the way albums were sold.
It wasn't like they weren't making good music at that point. I mean,
No, not that they weren't making good music, but like that was kind of the end of the pop music for sure. Like all the Britney Spears albums had 2 songs that you wanted, and then everything else sucked. The NSYNC albums, the Backstreet Boys album,
all those albums.
all of the pop, all of the pop music. But this is the way that they would sell it. Like even
no, I understand what you're saying.
Towards the end of Motley Crue, it's like, oh, there's 2 good songs on it. The rest of the album sucks. It doesn't matter. It's gonna sell. Put it out.
Well, so what you're saying is that the Roman and Brock storyline.
What else are you looking forward to around it? We're past the Rumble now. We're well into WrestleMania season. You should have an idea of what most of the card is going to look like. What excites you besides the main event?
From the company standpoint?
As a fan watching the show.
Like men's and women's, or just from the men's side?
The entire WrestleMania card.
No, I mean, I think whatever Ronda's doing, I'm interested in. I mean, I like, here's my thing with the WWE is I think there's a lot of characters there that I really like. That again, it's the short. That was the point with the titles. It's this short term, quick booking, and it's a room of writers where there's 25 guys all coming up with ideas, coming to Vince and going, "What do you think about this? What do you think about this? Well, I like this, but let's tweak this. I like this, but let's tweak this. I like this, but and it's this short term booking because where wrestling works the best is that there's one central storyline and then all the other little storylines that feed into that. But the WWE only has that one central storyline. They don't have any other, like Riddle and Orton are feuding with the Alpha Academy. There's, the thing with Damian Priest and Kevin Owens. I mean, there's stuff, but there's nothing that I'm like, oh, this is going to be a great card. You have a tremendous, WWE still to this day might have the most loaded talent roster. But if you're not utilizing that talent properly, it's like you're wasting your time. Yeah,
but you'll watch WrestleMania, so it doesn't matter.
I watch WrestleMania every year.
I mean, it could be the Texans versus the Dolphins in the Super Bowl, and you're still gonna watch Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So again, you built it up as a spectacle, and whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, people they're gonna watch. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I know that.
It just for me, it's not even the short term booking because we know that's an issue. It's putting guys, part-timers, in such prominent roles. And, eventually, these part-timers are not going to be able to go anymore. We saw it with Taker, right? And you're going to get to the point where you're going to be watching a WrestleMania one day, and you're going to be like, well, I have no credibility for 3/4 of this card. There's no credibility on anybody on it. I don't want to watch it. Or I'm only watching it for one match. And... that does injustice to the whole, like you said, the whole roster.
See, I think WrestleMania is such a huge, like you said, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam. Those 3, Survivor Series is still considered a big 4, but doesn't have the same prestige.
Doesn't get the treatment.
No, the 3. And those 3 events will always be watched because it's just built into, for me, I'm always going to watch those 3 events, whether I'm watching WWE every week or whether I'm just kind of checking in once in a while. I've always have. SummerSlam not as much, but definitely Royal Rumble, definitely WrestleMania.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
100%. Because it's and you're gonna watch, and it's the booking's probably not gonna get any better. It might be a little bit better here this year. It might be a little bit worse the next year. You know what I mean? It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Real quick, so we run down the women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I wanted to get to the women.
Yeah, I'll just say this: there was a report, and the report was from Nia Jax, so it's a pretty primary source that. When she had gotten released,
Nia Jax.
When
you were saying this off air, for some reason I was hearing Nia Jax, but I was hearing in my head Nyla Rose. That's why I was confused about they called her and offered her. I was thinking Nyla Rose.
So Nia Jax she gets cut.
She announced she was probably never going to wrestle again.
Well, she gets cut. She says she's waiting for her stuff to be returned to her. She goes, because I guess in the wrestling industry, she said for whatever reason, she goes, everybody who's in the wrestling industry knows your stuff just gets thrown around everywhere. So
is this the garbage bag incident?
No, the garbage bag incident was way before.
No, this, But... So she gets a box sent to her, and only half her shit's in there. So she calls and she says, I'm still missing XYZ. When you find it, send it over. So someone returns her phone call the next day, and it's unrelated to the box of missing stuff.
Was it Johnny Ace?
She would not name who it was. She said
it's probably
somebody from
Johnny Ace's office.
She said somebody called and said, "Is this Nia? Blah blah blah. We want to offer you a spot in the Rumble. Are you interested in? And this is what we could offer you." And blah blah blah. And her response was, "I'm on my 90 days still. I'm still getting paid. So you're not offering me anything. You're offering me the same amount of money that I'm making if I don't show up to the Rumble. And she said at first she thought it was a joke. She thought her friends were pranking her. Comes to find out that, yes, it is somebody that she won't name. And she told him, go fuck yourself. Absolutely not. And hung up. And
so she wanted more money. If they gave her more money, she would have showed up.
You think?
Yeah.
Probably.
I think there's a.
But I also think there's some sour grapes there.
Yeah.
I think there's a limit for everybody.
If you're gonna bring up the money, she wanted them to because.
No, I think she was saying it as you're doing me you're doing me a favor by offering me money. You're already paying me. The money means no. I think she's saying it like that. Like,
they did offer her more money then.
Yeah, I think they offer her something, but she said you're already paying me. I don't need to do that. Like, who are you?
That she said that they weren't because technically they don't have to offer her any more money. They could just say, "Do you want to come back and be on TV and try to help yourself?" So I'm sure that's how they.
No, I agree with you.
I'm almost positive she said she's pretty much made the decision she's good if she never wrestles again.
I
think it's really more like she's still on her 90 days, so you just cut me. The Royal Rumble didn't sneak up on you.
Exactly.
You could have fucking just kept me on the roster.
Exactly. And who knows what would have happened. She gets in that match, she could get squashed, and then what? At her size.
There's no way it would have worked out for her if she went from a character standpoint. No way.
WWE is just looking at it from we're already paying her. She can come back, she can get on TV, and then if she wants to go try to get a contract.
Well, they have no shame in it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Because she can help herself to get a contract.
Did you see the thing on, I know this is AEW related, but what Jade?
Cargill?
Yeah.
What about her?
How she got a tryout with WWE and she was on Talk is Jericho?
No, I didn't listen.
Well, she got a tryout with WWE. She accepted the offer. They sent her a contract. And she said, oh, my fiance and my 2-year-old, we're going to kind of travel and blah, blah, blah. And, we're afforded the opportunity where I could hire a full-time nanny. We have the money. And with this contract, and we'll do the damn thing, basically. And WWE, whoever she was talking to, again, she didn't say who it was, but she said somebody in WWE.
Johnny Ace.
Said to her, this is
Johnny, everyone knows.
She goes, he said, I just want you to know that you no longer have a family. WWE is your family. She's like, so you can forget about all that family stuff and all that. She goes, that's out the window. You work for us. You work for you are like, this is WWE. So she said a couple days later, she was in a car ride with Chris Jericho. Jericho said, well, why don't try AEW? She ripped up the contract, signed AEW. And when it was weird. She said WWE actually asked for her to send the contract back via FedEx with the whole insurances,
because they don't want the egg on
their
face.
Yeah, to the point where it's so it's just amazing. But the women's Royal Rumble was much better than the men's, I think. You gave it a 3.5 to men's. I'd give the women's a 3.5.
So this is what I want to say about not just the women's Rumble, women in general. Quick, you guys can just give me a simple yes, no. We don't have to get super into it. Becky, heel, not working. I'm not saying I don't enjoy it. I don't think it's working. It's like the Daniel Bryan trying to turn heel. The crowd really won't allow it to happen. And I don't think she's super great as a heel either.
I think Becky's incredibly overrated.
I think she's much better as a face or as that tweener character.
I just think she's overrated. I don't think she's a great worker. I think her
Did you watch the Stone Cold podcast with her?
No.
Check it out. She tells you she's not good.
Yeah.
She goes on several times in the beginning to say, I am so far from the best wrestler in the women's division. She goes, I am not the best worker. She goes, I'm not even.
The greatest wrestler of all time wasn't a good worker.
She said, I have a way.
Hulk
can work. Hulk can, I mean.
You think you got to say that to him, dude?
Hulk
seriously?
No, seriously. I mean, if you want to go Google any of Hogan's matches in Japan, Hogan can work his ass off. Vince had him doing the Hulk Hogan moveset. Hulk can work his ass off.
Which is okay. We're gonna do that one time. We're gonna look it up. But Becky, yes.
I'll make not just a highlight video. I'll pull matches if you want.
Yeah, no, I would like to see a different side of Hogan.
How about this? Watch WrestleMania 6 and tell me Hulk Hogan can't work. Watch WrestleMania 5, tell me Hogan can't
I'm not saying he can't work.
See, you offended him.
It was he the greatest worker of his generation?
I'll defend that to the day.
No, I know. I don't know if he was the greatest worker of his generation, but anyway.
I'm not saying he's a great worker. I'm just saying he can work.
I think Becky gets over with the crowd. I think she's. You have to understand, out of the 4 horsewomen, in my opinion, I relate, but I think people relate to her.
She resonates the most with the crowd.
100%. 100%. Bailey never did it for me with the whole hugging thing. Never, ever, ever.
Even Bailey.
Not even in NXT did I like it.
No, NXT she was awesome.
No, she was good for NXT in NXT. I just didn't like the gimmick. I wasn't in love with that gimmick from Jump Street.
It's a WWE Kids gimmick. That's
Right. I wasn't in love with the bad bitch Sasha gimmick. Like, I wasn't in love with any of that.
I think Bailey goes deeper than the gimmick, though. She still really can't talk great.
Yeah, but she's a
good worker,
yeah,
but she's a
worker,
boring worker.
I think she's number 3 on the.
She's tough on the mic, in my opinion. She's not.
Overall, she's the 3rd best one on.
Who's behind her?
Becky.
I don't think so.
So what do you go? You go Charlotte? Because Charlotte's number 1 for me.
Charlotte, Sasha, Becky. I mean, Charlotte's the best wrestler in the world.
So
men's or women's.
Yeah.
I think it's Charlotte, and then I know it's probably maybe she's a little green still. I'm gonna go Bianca Belair, and then.
Well, I'm just saying of the 4 horsewomen.
Oh! I thought you were talking about women's wrestling.
Bianca's the number 2 in the company.
Yeah, I think in the company right now,
there's a couple of women over at AEW that have something to say.
No.
In the company, I said.
Yeah.
No.
I think that Ruby could work her ass off. I'm not putting her in a top 10 conversation.
Britt's number 2 in the world.
It's
Britt,
Charlotte.
100%.
It's Charlotte, Britt,
and Britt.
Bianca is the top 3 in my opinion.
What Punk said.
Give Jade 2 years.
Jade is.
Give Jade 2 years. She'll be. And I hope to God, whether it's AEW or WWE, we need Jade versus Charlotte in a main event caliber big show match.
Absolutely.
And I think it's more likely to be AEW because of all Andrade is already over there and she's getting a lot of heat. And Charlotte just seems like a headstrong bitch. I'm gonna go fuck you. I think it's more likely than not we see her over in AEW. I'm not going to say within the next 5 years, but before it's all said and done, she'll be there.
Daddy's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And Daddy and WWE are done.
Yeah.
Because the whole situation with Becky and the man, and Flair owns the man. And,
yeah.
Becky's character.
Well, WWE won that lawsuit, but Becky decided not to do it anyway.
Yeah, that's just out of respect.
So back to the topic here, right? So 3.5 women's match. It was kind of predictable, right? How do you feel?
I'll give you
Rousey
my quick notes. Sasha only being in that match sub 11 minutes is the greatest disservice WWE did to themselves, the fans, and any particular wrestler the entire night. Once she came in, two or three, whenever she came in, I was like, let's go. Sasha's going for an hour. Huge disservice. Ronda came in and looked like she was cashing a check.
But Sasha,
Sasha's still hurt, right?
She's got to get her legs back underneath her. She couldn't go for.
But then don't put her in.
No, stop. I disagree.
If she's too hurt to go.
No. I don't think that she's too hurt to go. I don't think she's got all the rust knocked off.
Yeah, sea legs, dude. Yeah. She looked like a sailor too.
If it was up
Sailor
to her,
Moon. That was a Sailor Moon.
I know.
Sailor sexy is what that was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anyways, getting back to it, she can't go and she's coming off an injury. This is her first match coming off that injury. You don't want to put her in the Rumble for an hour and try to, she's not Ric Flair. You know what I mean? Only Ric Flair is going to go in there coming off injury, go an hour.
Yeah.
So I think having her come out at number 1, it's like a big flashy number 1. Here's one of Vince's shiny toys and Sasha. It's like that's what he did with AJ. Here's my shiny toy. AJ's number 1.
Right. 100%. Yeah.
So that's because now it's become. It used to be the Scrubs were number 1 and number 2 in the day. Now it's like they got to have a big. Since Shawn Michaels, Rey Mysterio, like Benoit, like we talked about, since they all started number 1 and 1, that's why they want to have a big, this guy or this girl could win the Royal Rumble.
Right.
So it makes sense.
Plus, it's a full entrance. The first 2 guys have a full entrance. First 2 participants have a full entrance.
So you want to use someone with a good entrance.
You want to use someone who's going to pop, who's going to get the crowd ready.
And I think they're getting back to now, like we saw it even recently, Shinsuke won at 19. Right? They want to get back to anybody can win at any moment because for a while it became if you're coming out before 24, you have almost zero shot.
It's just very disappointing and not so much on the women's side because I felt like they did a very good job. And I feel like they really what's the word I'm looking for? Scattered, let's call it. Top talent with people coming back, with nostalgia, with middling, it wasn't like it always felt like
it was well booked.
Right, it was very well booked, very paced well. Everything was really,
You can't take all those women and put a number on them and just pull the number out of the hat and go, this is what's going to work. You strategically place people here because you need to have.
Fit Finley did it.
Right.
And they were all upset that it wasn't Tyson Kidd who
literally runs
all
the
women's
women
stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So now it's funny because
Finley's like big in the women's part.
Yeah, 100%.
But when we counted,
I don't think he was with the company, and they brought him back in to do the Rumble.
When we counted things down, we were like, I hate doing that. When I'm like, oh, there's 4 spots left, and Lesnar's won, and blah blah blah, and you feel like you feel like they're doing a disservice to you. You feel like you're not getting who you want to get.
I know
right?
they're not going to do it, but don't announce anybody. Don't announce how, because when you have 25 people announced, so now everyone's that
is the biggest
math
thing
in their head trying to figure out.
That is the biggest thing to me.
And this is what I have to say.
That was my point with the surprise. Like everybody expects the surprise, so if you know everybody who's coming in, there's no surprise.
Right. So with the surprises, if they're all older, borderline washed, if not completely washed, legends that have been in the Royal Rumble every year since its inception 5 years ago, it's no longer a surprise. Molly Holly, Kelly. I mean, I know the Bellas are going to be there, and I'm fine with the Bellas.
Different, because the women don't have the roster space that the men do.
So I know
they did more with less.
They called Nia Jax. They called the Iconics. They did try. But
they did more with less. 100%.
Unfortunately, you've spurned so many of these people that over the last 3 years that you've cut that don't have a lot of interest in coming back. I mean, at this
not even
point,
that, but not every 45-year-old worker wants to come back.
I'm talking about the Iconics who said, no thanks, we're all good. Like, we're over here and the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Like, we're good. No thanks. Nia Jax, fuck yourself, like you said.
You gotta figure a lot of the people that leave are salty. So as much as we would like to see, and even people who are not there that they wanted to bring back, not just like the women who were there like recently, but I'm saying like the Kellys, the Ivories,
women's wrestling was
Molly
very
Holly,
different.
Who also produced worked closely on producing the Royal Rumble.
Right. Well, she works in NXT a bunch, Molly Holly, right?
Yeah. I believe so. Yeah.
So I mean, it was well done. It was the placement of all the people, right? I mean, I think Bianca had the longest time besides Charlotte in the Rumble, right? Or was Charlotte a little bit longer?
Not positive.
Yeah, but
they both were up there.
I mean, those are the two that probably should have been in there the most and been featured the most. Having Sasha come out at number 1, she gets her little rub, like welcome back. I'm back. I can.
Rousey didn't look great, but again,
so this is right. But so
very much out of
this is my problem.
I said it.
This is my problem. Who is not? This is not a booking problem. This is not a WWE writer problem. It's not a Vince problem. Ronda said the minute she knew her due date, she was coming back at the Royal Rumble. 4 months postpartum. Is it crazy? Yes. You had 4 months to get ready. She was blown up. She looked checked out.
I don't think I think because like when you're blown up in the ring, because like people don't realize the tremendous physical condition you have to be in to be a wrestler. You figure like, oh, we're going in there, we're throwing fake punches, fake kicks. It's not, you have to be in the tip top physical. I mean, Ric Flair to this day still does the Stairmaster every day because he knows that's what's going to keep his cardio up. That's what's going to make him be able to get in the ring and go an hour. So I think she she might be in great shape, like working out and getting in the ring and rolling around.
It's not ring shape.
Right, but you get out there and the crowd is like screaming and your adrenaline's going and I'm sure she wanted to come out and be that smiley Ronda because like they're giving her that warm welcome. I mean the crowd popped huge. They got the Warrior pop for Ronda. You know what I mean?
And so once she was blown up, she like broke character a few times and like did a lot of standing around and it was like if leading up to it, we all the rumors pointed toward Ronda coming back, and you're going to make this comeback. You went out pretty much the champ. You're going to come back. You're going to win the Rumble. You're going to Mania, a big program with Charlotte. You got just give me. You're only in the ring for what 10 minutes? So, she was in the ring, less than that. Give me if you're blowing up, that's fine. Stay in character. Don't just stand in the corner.
But she's not a. This is not her.
And then when Baszler comes out, that's a perfect opportunity for you to stay in character without blowing yourself up further because you can just scream, tell Baszler, and double team someone so Shayna can carry you while you're getting.
But she's not a wrestler.
Yeah, you forget she's.
You're forgetting that she's not.
But she was doing high level work when she was in the ring a year ago.
But again, she went and had a baby. Which again, that's like we don't experience that as dudes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And plus, like, it's her 3rd year. She's only been in the game for 2 years. I mean, she even in the game for was it 1 full year? She was in there. She debuted at WrestleMania, and then finished up at the next year's WrestleMania.
This is not Edge and Hardy, where I literally watched a thing on Peacock of Edge and Hardy in a ladder match. Right, when Edge was having a singles run. And they tried a new stunt, didn't work out, and Edge actually gets knocked out unconscious. Comes to and is looking up at the arena logo on the top of the arena. Right away, gets right back into it, and continues the match like nothing ever happened, like a true professional. It ain't that. That's not Rousey. You know what I mean? Like that's not her. She's never gonna do that.
UFC training, WWE training, two completely.
Oh
different
yeah,
things.
100%. Not saying she's not a badass, but
she'll
be all right. Mania, she'll bring it.
If she had 4 years, 5 years in, and she was a little more polished, then I would give her.
Go after her a little bit
more. I'm just cutting her a little.
Yeah,
because
you don't tell me. I think Charlotte versus Rousey is going to be a pretty good match.
They wrestled once. And I think the match ended on DQ, and then they were in that triple threat with Becky. So, like, I don't really count a triple threat as, like, a singles.
No, of course not.
It's totally
I think they're going to work well together because not many people don't work well with Charlotte.
And then what are they going to do, Bianca and Becky?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. The Lita thing freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't need to have... Lita can come back and have a good match, but she doesn't need the strap.
But you got to realize that there's a big program in store for Lita because she turned down a pretty long AEW run that involved a big program at Double or Nothing 2019 or 2020. So she turned down that deal for something. I mean, I can't imagine it was just money that she turned that deal down over.
Gotcha.
I got to see Lita can still go, honestly, in a singles match.
I think Lita can still go.
I got to see it.
I thought her and Ronda looked about the same, though.
Yeah, that's how
Not
I felt.
that Lita was blown up, but she's moving a lot slower.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, she's not like...
Like double,
yeah.
like 0.5 speed, kind of. You know what I mean?
I think she works a little bit. You knock that ring rust off, she might still be all right. But
well, we're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out one way or another, right?
Is there anything else on WWE?
Are we sick of Bill Goldberg yet?
I am.
How many matches has he had? Can you get me the number on how many matches he's had in WWE since 2016?
A dozen.
I think it's less than that. But my point is, 41 minutes of ring time total.
But that's Goldberg.
But we don't need it. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna go crush Roman now? Probably not, right? We know this is the last match on his contract. Is this the last time we see him? I hope so.
I mean, yeah. I'm not mad about it one way or the other.
We didn't need Goldberg. I didn't need Goldberg to go over people in his late 40s, early 50s, however old he is, as a sideshow act. In the process of completely stomping out flames of hot characters like Kevin Owens, like Bray Wyatt.
No, listen, I get it.
It's done more detriment than good, in my opinion,
Sure.
to the company, to the characters, and to its storytelling since he's been around. Now, I love a good jackhammer and a spear and a You're Next. Don't get me wrong. There's better ways to... Bill Goldberg should have been used in a light that Sting has been used in AEW.
11 matches.
Not as 11 matches, 41 total minutes.
Close.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. Vince and Goldberg had unfinished business because the way they brought him back in 2003 and they just ruined him. You know, they didn't book him properly. They were putting him in these like 18, 20-minute matches. Like Goldberg from day one, come out, breathe the frickin' fireworks, get, punch, kick, big explosion, to the ring, jackhammer, spear, see you never. You know what I mean? And like WWE should have done that from the beginning. But the problem was they put him in a program with The Rock on The Rock's way out, which left a bad taste in The Rock's mouth. I mean, it just... And Vince had unfinished business, so now he's trying to finish it up. This is like, and if this is the culmination, I think it's a perfect... Because you can't have Lesnar and Roman touch. So you got to have something for both of them to do in between. So Lesnar being in the Elimination Chamber, which he's probably going to win. And that's a good loaded thing. I mean, I would like to see like AJ win. I would like to see Seth win. I think Seth winning makes way more sense because then it gives Seth something to do at Mania. Because what are you doing with Seth otherwise?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Goldberg is in out of the 11 matches. 6 of them were for the title, and since returning to WWE, he is 5-6. He won 5, lost 6.
I'm over it. I hope this is his last match. I know he said on Pat McAfee he had one more match and he was done. But as we all know, wrestling
they never say never.
Still try to uphold kayfabe and never say never.
If I'm going with what if I take your perspective, then I totally get it. Like I'm okay. I'm on board with it. But I am tired of seeing it. Like I said, but I am tired of seeing part timers. I've told you that. I've said it over and over again.
Listen, I'm not mad at it. I don't need to see Goldberg. I'm not unhappy to see him. In other words,
I would be much happier if you strapped him to a Braun Breaker type if he was ready, which he's not, or put him with the alphas, like in a light that Sting is, where he doesn't have to work as much. You could protect him and
But he doesn't want that, dude.
protect him for. Yeah, I know he might not want that, but
He
like,
wants to run through a wall for
this,
5 minutes.
You just
and
said
be
you
done.
don't have a family anymore if you're working for us. This is WWE. The logo is the family. You're gonna, if you want to do it, you're gonna do it on our terms, or we don't need you. But again, that's not the way Vince is gonna play ball because he thinks Bill Goldberg is responsible for selling out Saudi Arabia, which he might be true, but like. Then it comes down to greed. It's not about the product anymore.
You got to remember too that the WWE's main focus is like 12-year-old kids to
What 12-year-old kids have a connection to Bill Goldberg?
Yeah, but they see this guy like the way he comes out, and he's still a bigger than life, and they promote him as a bigger than life character. And again, when you're looking at it, like the WWE doesn't book for the smart fan; they're booking for the casual fan that's going to come to a couple live events. They're going to buy some T-shirts. Like you said, Saudi Arabia, they're booking for that group. They're not invested like we are, where we're going to go watch AEW and Raw, and we're going to break it down.
Saudi Arabia was asking for guys who were dead when they went over there. They were asking, "Oh, you got to bring in X, Y, and Z." They're dead. They're not even alive anymore.
All right. So back in 2014, I went to Mexico for a wedding. And I went into the smoke shop that was down there, and the kid was watching wrestling on the TV. He's watching The Rock and Stone Cold and Mr. McMahon back in like 2000, 2001. And he's like, Mr. McMahon, and he's like doing this shit, And like to them, that's what wrestling is. It's like that old, because like that's what they're getting on their television. They're not getting
the new stuff,
the new
yeah.
current products. So that's why they bring back Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker and Triple H and all these guys to go wrestle overseas because and they want to see the larger than life spectacle. We want to see, all right, take this young guy, build him up, tell me a good story, but that's what we got AEW for. WWE is the product for the kids. It's for the young girls who want to see these guys with their shirts off.
But it always wasn't, right? It wasn't always that, and now it's
because now the way,
and that's why we have this differing opinion.
The way it's consumed is different. So he has to. They're promoting like the AEW needs to get TV ratings, so they want that 18 to 45-year-old audience. Okay. WWE wants subscribers, like they want the guys who are my age in their late 30s, early 40s who watched Hulk Hogan, who want to sit down and have a family product they can watch with their family.
All right, let me ask you a question. Bill Goldberg has his last match at WWE, and then signs with AEW.
Never happened.
Hold on, just for right.
Well, never say never. But.
Yeah, is his aura, is the way he's handled and booked the same? Is it like a Sting, or is it like what he's doing now? I'm gonna compete once a year. I'm gonna this. I'm gonna that. Whatever, twice a year. Or is it? Because I feel like if he signed with AEW,
I don't think TK is that interested in.
No, I'm not.
He's just saying
look past all that. I'm saying if he were to bring him in, I do think that they would strap him with somebody. Kind of put him in like even not a managerial position, but like a
and that guy should
a mentor
that
position.
Guy should be Wardlow,
right?
What with Goldberg? Well, I mean,
I'm just saying it's just a different. So like the WWE script, the WWE, the way they go about their business is when he said I'm coming back for 12 matches, Vince in his mind was like, I got 12 stories that I don't have to have a real storyline behind it. I could just have 12 matches. I could put him up against 12 other legends, I don't think he's fought anybody not.
He fights the upper echelon. I mean, here's the thing about Goldberg. Goldberg came up and immediately was put in this, like, he's going to come in and he's going to squash everybody in front of him.
And then you're saying
so
back.
He knows. Yeah. And he was very difficult to deal with backstage.
Yeah.
Very difficult when it came to money, very difficult when it came to his booking. So I don't know how he is today behind the scenes. If he goes to Vince and says, hey, listen, I'm Goldberg. I'm always going to be Goldberg no matter when I come in. And Vince is just like, okay, you're getting me ratings. Come on in, do your thing. If he was to go to AEW, it might be difficult for TK to get him to do anything other than the Goldberg character.
Which is why I don't think it would ever happen.
Well, that's my point. I don't think it's
so.
feasible.
Just real quick, he fought Lesnar in 11 matches. Lesnar, a Rumble, Owens, Lesnar, Taker, Ziggler.
Yeah, Ziggler
The Fiend,
was like a joke fucking match.
The Fiend, Strowman.
So was the KO match.
Drew, Bobby, and then Bobby again.
KO got a little bit more in, and KO worked that match like as he needed to. He played the chicken shit heel in that one, and it worked.
So, just food for thought.
Listen,
I've just accepted that the product's not really for me anymore. And like you were saying, like if you just drop all expectations and watch it, you might enjoy it more. And I had zero expectations going into the Rumble because I haven't really watched a lot of WWE TV, and I still wasn't super excited about it.
Well, I'm not saying getting excited about it. I'm just
Like
saying.
I fell asleep during the Miz, the couples tag team match, and I woke up during the Lesnar Bobby match.
I also feel like, since we're just to wrap up this WWE segment, I just feel like Edge can still kind of go, and before he can't, start giving us those dream matches. Like, let's go. Like, don't give me. I like Miz. I think Miz is great, but don't give me like the couples feud. I don't want that. I honestly don't. I want to see him go up against.
They should have put all four of them should have been in the Rumble. There's no reason that they needed to have that match.
That's what I'm saying.
They could have put like a tag title match on, like taking the tag teams out and then have a tag title match
100%.
there, and then have Edge and
100%.
Because Edge and Miz are viable champions that could have
100%
could win the Rumble.
And Edge, I need to see Edge I want Edge versus Styles singles match. Give me a little bit of a build up. Like, give me it before it's too late.
Well, they might do that now.
And I would love to see.
They might, but it's almost too late. You know what I'm saying?
No,
it's not too late to build the match, but it's too late.
No, not to build a match. I'm saying we're running out of time.
Yes.
For us to see all of the matches that I'd like to see of Edge. Now, don't get me wrong.
But what else?
Christian's still doing it. You know what I mean? Christian might have had the best year of his career in 2021. Is that weird?
He had like a nice couple months. I don't think he had the best year. I mean, he only wrestled. He did like a month in AEW as the Impact champion, and he did like a month in Impact. And when's the last time he wrestled a match?
I guess, but he's there. He's involved,
and
right?
But he's more of like that mentor role. Like, TK knows how to book people,
right?
And he knows how to book people for us, where it makes sense.
Christian's knowledge of the business and of booking and about how wrestling, working, how to tell a story in the ring and outside of the ring is second to none from what a lot of people say the way they talk about him. But
no, he's in a good spot though, Christian.
I think I've got everything out I had to get out on WWE. We're ready to take a break.
Yeah, we'll take a break and we'll do some AEW current stuff.
Alrighty.
All right, guys, listen. Pat McAfee said it best. You got to look good to feel good. You got to feel good to play good. Well, we're going to help you guys look good with Saatchi di Dinero. All right, it's the finest Italian material. It's fire. It's comfortable. And we got a saving for you. All right, you're going to use promo code HAVOC for 10% off your total purchase at SaatchiDiDinero.com. Also, check them out over at Instagram at Saatchi di Dinero. Saatchi di Dinero, always authentic, never counterfeit.
Guys, best way to support the show is to support the sponsors. You support the sponsors, you're supporting the boys. We're back, and we're going to dive deep on AEW now for the second half of the show. We're going to start with the Forbidden Door.
I believe so. We're going to start with a tweet from Tony Khan, and then I'm going to...
A series of tweets.
I'm going to just do the main... It was a series of tweets. I'm going to do the one tweet, and then I'm going to kick it to Whitey because Whitey doesn't have a Twitter. So here we go. Tony Khan tweeted 2 days ago.
This was Friday night?
Friday night at 11:30 p.m.
Okay? After they got done, after Rampage. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so just to be clear, I haven't seen all of Rampage.
That's fine. You don't need for this.
Yeah.
The Forbidden Door can be opened for anyone from any wrestling promotion in the world. Whether or not it's a company AEW is on good terms with or some other company that is open for business. They're also welcome to slam the door in the face of their prior company. Period.
Interesting.
Now,
so
let's just wait. But what is the Forbidden Door? Right? So most wrestlers most wrestling fans should know, but what is the Forbidden Door?
The Forbidden Door insinuates that this is somebody that is currently working for another company that is going to cross promote.
Not a free agent.
That's what you would that's what
I'm asking.
That's what I'm led to believe.
Mickey James at the Royal Rumble.
So to me,
is Keith Lee a Forbidden Door candidate?
No.
Is anybody on a 90-day work? If
you're on a 90-day
non-compete,
yes.
is that a Forbidden Door?
Yes.
Okay, because I kind of feel a little bit different about
Tony
that.
Khan
is because you're technically you're still contracted to another company. Because 90-day no compete is just a clause in the contract that holds you there, so you can't do anything else. You can't.
But all you have to do is decide that you're going to forego your pay, and Tony Khan is going to pay a fine, and you can break that 90-day. It's not.
Yeah, no, I know.
So you're gonna leave whatever job you're working at now, just give up your money just to go to another job. Like,
Well, that depends, right?
I mean, that's basically.
Well,
what
I mean, you're
saying.
not leaving the job though if you're on a 90-day no compete. You're just leaving.
Right. But you're still contracted to them.
Right, but they let you go.
I mean,
I just feel like a
if
lot
you're
of
on a 90-day
people.
no compete, it means they fucking cut your ass because you don't. If they,
Oh, yeah, but
if the
I just-
contract expires, there's no 90
But
day.
you're still collecting a paycheck.
The way the
That's
wrestling
my
Right,
business
right.
works.
That's my point. He's like, you're still like that's saying to you, all right, you have job A. We're telling you, they're laid you off your home, but you're getting paid. You have to forego that money to come to work for us.
So if 60 days into your 90-day no compete, Tony Khan comes knocking on the door and gives you an offer, and now you have that. Do I say fuck Vince and WWE and leave early and wind up dealing with however I'm going to deal with
Sure.
it for the next job? Or do you wait because that offer might not be on the table in 30 days?
Well, that's the situation when WCW closed its doors and all those guys were still getting paid from Turner. They didn't go to work for Vince. And Vince tried to do that invasion angle, and it didn't work because Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Sting, Luger, Goldberg, all the big WCW guys were still getting paid from Turner, so they all decided to stay home. They all could have went to work for them
The next day,
immediately.
yeah.
Like WWE sent their crew over there and said, "Hey, look, come to work for us. You're going to make less. You're not going to make a guaranteed money, but I can guarantee that you'll make more money." But they all decided, well, why work when I can sit home and collect a paycheck?
Right. Before we get too deep on the Forbidden Door thing, I need to clarify something. What Tony Khan said, I'm paraphrasing, but this is pretty close to word for word, was that he had a big announcement and that it was going to be, there's a new signing coming to AEW this coming Wednesday on Dynamite.
Where is the show on? Where is Dynamite?
I don't know exactly.
Go ahead, keep talking. I'll find it.
And what he said was, there's a big signing coming to Dynamite on Wednesday night, and more big signings are planned in the future, and the Forbidden Door will be kicked down again soon. So everyone is assuming this has to be a Forbidden Door wrestler on Wednesday, but it doesn't, because Tony said the Forbidden Door will be kicked down again soon.
Yeah.
So I think Keith Lee has obviously been rumored to be signing there for a long time. His 90 days is up or about to be up. Keith Lee would make sense. Like I said, I think Shane McMahon would be awesome, but it would also be this holy shit. Is Vince funding them? Are they in bed together? What's going on? Because there's no way, like, if Shane McMahon shows up on Wednesday night, the whole Rumble thing was a work, right? And Kayfabe somehow found a way to slip through the cracks of Meltzer and Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp and all these other guys. I think it would be good for the business, but I don't necessarily want to see Shane.
What's the end result with Shane going over there? Like, what's the goal, or what's the end goal? I'm saying with Shane going over there.
Well, the match is a qualifier for the Face of the Revolution ladder match at Revolution. So whoever shows up to wrestle Isaiah Cassidy on Wednesday night, that match is a qualifier for that. And then you would assume they would at least be a top contender to win that Face of the Revolution match. And now you're in the title picture. Don't necessarily think it. I don't think Shane. I think never in a million years is Shane going to wind up over there. But I think it would be a big oh shit moment for the business.
Well, Shane going over there creates the immediate rivalry storyline. Now is it like I bought the company and the consortium was the Shane McMahon going against Vince. It's the same storyline
as the invasion angle. Correct.
Shane buying WCW to compete with his father. So now is Vince sending him over there, and then it's going to turn out like Shane shows up. It's like endless possibilities of what could happen.
I just want to point the obvious part out. Isaiah Cassidy is a member of what tag team?
Private Party?
Which is a member of what stable?
The whatever they call it now. It's not the Hardy Family Office.
The AHFO.
Yeah.
Obvious ties to Matt Hardy. There have been obvious
Jeff.
No, well, yeah, Jeff, but I'm saying there have been obvious over the last month. There have been obvious hints and jabs at Matt, kind of put, not undermining them, but you know what I mean. Not acknowledging Private Party as much. So I think the breadcrumbs are already there for it to make sense for it to be Jeff.
So
as a Jeff stan, I would love to see Jeff.
But I sent you the Wyatt promos. Well, not Wyatt, but
the Wyndham videos. Yeah.
Who's he talking about? He's saying we'll be reunited again soon. Is he going back to WWE, or is he going to be one of those guys?
He might be talking to the fans. That's kind of the way the Fireflies.
Yeah. O'Dell's still there, right?
No, I don't think he's contracted to the WWE in any way, shape, or form.
And what about Braun Strowman's now?
He's kind of working.
He's working arm wrestling, right?
No, he's doing a faction with.
He just did. He just did. Was
Ethan
it
Carter, EC3, him, And who's the other guy?
What big show did he just do? Was it the final battle he was at, or
He asked McMahon.
Oh,
He
the
tweeted.
Homecoming?
He tweeted at McMahon.
I think he was at the final Ring of Honor final battle show,
Oh.
and then I think he was also at the last big Impact show, which I don't think was.
He tweeted at McMahon to join his faction, which I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, I'll look up the faction name right now. But Wednesday, they're actually in Atlantic City.
AC, okay.
And tickets are $25. Just saying. Is it worth the trip? Be tired for one day of work?
Yeah.
All right. I'll
consider it. I'll
look up the
consider it, dude.
faction.
I'm not even fucking around. I'll consider going.
I will also consider going.
I don't know if I can.
That's fine.
You
We're not
got
in
a
the
kid.
same
It's
stages of
different.
life. You know, you got a
Yeah.
family and a kid.
I'm like thinking, I'm like, oh, that'd be a lot of fun jumping in the car.
Yeah,
and
just
driving
going
to
for one
AC.
night. Anyway,
But
I'll look up. Braun
I would
Strowman's.
have to look into would we make it? Because I can't leave my new job early. So
that's
Out of
almost
work
a
at-
3-hour trip.
out of work at 3:30, quick shower on the road by 4. We get there at.
You'd
Are
be
we gonna
walking
get there
in-
at 7?
You'd
We'd be walking in for dark.
opening bell.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously
Killer Cross, EC3, Strowman.
Killer Cross is another one that's people are talking about.
Control Your Narrative. That's
Control Your
that's the name of
Narrative,
their
yes.
group.
I mean,
and,
I've seen EC3's promos and stuff.
and he said, all you have to do is knock. Our door's always open, brother. At Shane McMahon. And then #Awakening, #Change is coming, #You've been warned, #Control Your Narrative.
My two favorites are Jeff and Wyndham. Those are the two I would love to see the most. A lot of people are playing with the idea of what if it's quote Cody and they're just going to hit you with the swerve because Cody's been working without a contract this whole time.
I would love that.
So here
Both
are
of you
they.
give me one pick for who you want it to be.
Well,
Who you would love the
who I'd
most.
want it to be.
Realistically, within reason. Obviously,
I have
don't
a-
say Cena.
I have a
because-
list of 7 here that they think.
All right,
it
well,
could
let
be,
Whitey
but-
answer first, and then you could read the list.
I mean, the guy I would like to see the most is obviously Wyndham Rotunda because I think he's the most interesting. Like I've said in the past, I would love to see him take the Dark Order back over. He makes perfect sense. You bring in Redbeard for now to be his big muscle guy. You kick out Silver and Reynolds. You let them go be their faces. You kick out Cabana, and now it's Uno, Grayson, Wyndham, Redbeard, and then they can add on from there.
I wouldn't mind if they didn't even touch the Dark Order.
Well,
Go find some of these guys where the cracks are already showing in their armor. Go find Wardlow. Go take Jake Hager because we're gonna get to the inner circle, but it looks like that breakup's coming.
It's coming.
Get Wardlow and Hager. Now I know Hager's still doing the Bellator thing, and that's why he's not on TV because when he's training, he's not allowed to physically touch anybody, which I
Right.
totally get, respect it.
Sure.
Eventually, there's gonna be a time where Hager, and he still was used fine in his role now while he's.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
You go get a guy like Hager, you go get a guy like Wardlow, and then I would love to see them absorb Archer, but Archer's character is too it would involve a serious
Archer's a
fucking
solo
beatdown.
guy,
Yeah, he's a solo act.
I mean, I don't love putting. I think Jake was enough, but Jake, he's got his health issues.
Yeah,
But I think putting him with what's his face was not a great idea.
Archer.
Excuse me. Yeah. With Lambert.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I understand it's more Lambert versus Hangman Page than it is Lambert versus Lambert with Archer.
Right.
So
You got that list?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people say it is Shane McMahon, obviously, but obviously people are going to say that. This list is much more
Who's the list coming from?
what if it's Ryder or Cardona?
Cardona.
comicbook.com.
Okay, I just wanted to cite
Yeah.
it.
Because Cardona is we'll get to him, but he's just
I just don't.
I would love to see that, but I think he's riding this rocket now.
well, he's headed back to WWE.
100%. His heart's there. Well, whatever. Anyway, top 7. John Morrison.
Okay, 90 day not up yet.
Could totally see
Yeah.
it. That's
See it.
totally see it. Ember Moon, but we'll call her Athena.
Athena. Yeah, which she'll be there eventually. Well, it can't be Ember Moon because it's a
Right. I'm just.
men's match.
saying-
So, all right.
Oh, it's a men's. Oh,
Whoever the new signing
Is wrestling.
Isaiah
Okay.
Cassidy for
Sean
a spot
Strickland.
in the face of the Revolution
Shane
ladder match.
Strickland.
Okay.
See, this is another woman. Keith Lee.
I'm not excited about Keith.
Neither am I. Slow.
Wyndham. And this one I really didn't think about, but Samoa Joe.
I thought about that too. Joe's gonna kill you.
fucking love
I saw
SmackDown.
him. He tweeted.
Forgot about
He
SmackDown.
didn't go on Twitter during his entire 90-day, and he tweeted something last night, like apologizing about not being around. He's like, sometimes you just got to take some time to not see this vile shit from the algorithm to make your day worse every day. And he said he'd be back soon. So he's getting old too, but he could still work his ass off.
He can still work his ass off.
I'd love to see Joe. I didn't even
He's
think about that.
The most believable against Lesnar in the last, all Lesnar's.
100%.
So this match, right? What is the winner for the stipulation? Just so I could.
It's a qualifier for the Face of the Revolution ladder match
Yeah.
at the Revolution pay-per-view,
That's
which
where,
is
Cage debuted. That's where who else debuted there?
I don't think Wyndham needs that. I don't think that's something.
you win that match, you get the title match, and they often do it on the following Dynamite.
Yeah, I don't think that's something because then you're not gonna let him go over Page, right? So I don't think so. I think it's a bad deal. I think it's a bad thing. I think that would be bad. So
you got to see what Page does after this Archer feud. And
Is Cole.
you think so?
Oh, you didn't finish the Rampage.
No.
It's Cole.
Is it?
Yeah. Which a lot of people were smashing that because if they were going to make him the next contender for the world title, why did he just lose to OC?
Yeah.
Then they make Cole, I believe, on Rampage. I could be misspeaking because I didn't watch. I only saw recaps. Cole's claiming to still be undefeated because it was a lights out unofficial match.
Gotcha.
We can move right into the Hangman thing.
one more thing
Go
because
ahead.
this is another tweet from Tony Khan just so we could clear up because I remember I just want to clear it up. This is word for word. As referenced on AEW Rampage, I have a surprise. On AEW Dynamite, live on TBS, a top wrestler will walk through the Forbidden Door this Wednesday and debut on AEW. More info to come. Thanks for everybody who joined us for a great Rampage. We will see you Wednesday on TBS. So
What about Okada?
That's what I was asking before. What about the New Japan guys? I mean,
What-
They said that it wasn't a New Japan guy because they have a relation. Like it already is an open relationship. It would be someone that you'd kind of. I mean, that would change everything. He said this will change everything. So if you're talking change everything,
Imagine if it's Tyler Black.
wow.
I don't even think.
I don't think so, but man.
Wow.
Or Balor. I mean, if it's a guy currently under contract and working for WWE, give me one guy. I want Balor. I've wanted Balor in AEW the minute I saw the first Double or Nothing.
I would have rather seen Owens over there.
Well, we know that's not
I
going to
know it's
happen.
not going to happen. I think it would make WrestleMania the most interesting show of the year at that point because I think you got to have that match at WrestleMania.
So if it's a Forbidden Door deal,
because I was
and
thinking about
Seth
this,
were to
right?
show up, is he Seth Rollins or is he Tyler Black?
He's not showing up.
If we're playing the if game, if it's somebody from the WWE that's a legitimate Forbidden Door candidate and not someone on a 90-day, who is it? And do they?
JR says Seth Rollins.
And then the thing says Tyler Black. Yeah, the header. That would be great.
And I love JR, man.
I love me JR.
I'm
Some
not
JR
shitting
too.
on JR. It's just like when
Malachi
came
came
out. It's Tommy End. It's Malachi Black. It's this one. It's that. It's like
What is there? He's like, oh my God, it's Tommy End, and then Excalibur was like, it's Malachi Black. It's Malachi Black, and then fucking 3 minutes later, JR's like, what is Tommy End doing in AEW? Amazing.
I thought about this the other day that if obviously this would start a world war, right? 100%. If somebody currently contracted to WWE and Tony Khan just says, like, think about, okay, let's just take Seth Rollins for instance, even though I don't think it is. Let's just say Seth Rollins called Tony Khan.
It's not Rollins if it's slam the door in their face and fuck you forever.
Hold
It's
on.
Rollins if
Hold-
they're in bed together. I
Hold
could
on
see
one
it
second.
being
Hold
Rollins.
on one second. Think about this. Seth and Roman were just involved, and they played off the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Bryan is now with Moxley. No, not with him, but like they're starting
playing
something.
the game, yeah.
Say Seth shows up, has something going on with those guys. Mox shows up to fucking WrestleMania and fucks Reigns out of the title. Wouldn't that be some shit?
Mox shows up to WrestleMania.
I don't
Because-
want to know that they're in bed together. I think that would ruin everything.
I think they can
that
work.
would make-
I
they
think
could
they
do it
can work together
awesome.
without being in bed together. I don't think they're in bed together,
What
but
if
they
Vince-
could work
what if-
together.
What if Vince? Because Triple H is now,
Dunzo?
Dunzo.
Yeah.
Like not just wrestling, but I think he's like.
No, done.
Yeah.
Done.
So what if he's seen what TK's been doing and booking, and he said, "What if I have him write my shows too? Fuck all these writers. Let's get rid of them. I'm trying to do this long-term storytelling with Roman. I'm just saying this is a huge hypothetical.
Yeah.
Huge reach for sure.
That's fine.
But
That's
what
what
if,
we're that's what we're doing.
What if because Vince is not getting any younger? You know what I mean? And Stephanie, she's gonna have to take care of Triple H and the family. Shane doesn't really want to be there because he's got his stuff going.
Is
on.
Triple H done because of medical reasons?
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard, dude.
Yeah.
Bumped it. He can't keep up that schedule. You know what I mean? I hate to see what Triple H looks like right now because I'm sure he's not working out.
Good, yeah.
And I all my best goes out to him because Triple H gets a bad rap.
Triple H is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean Triple H is he's the guy. But anyway, point being, what if it is Seth Rollins? What if he is going to join up with Mox? And what if Mox is going to show up at WrestleMania? And they're not going to have a match at WrestleMania, but Mox just shows up. Rollins, Mox, fuck Reigns out of the title, or they fuck Lesnar. Shield rejoins, and they fucking go back and forth. Woo!
No,
It
could happen. It could happen, but that would be wild.
And then what if Vince is like, TK, I need you to write Raw and SmackDown on top of Dynamite, and then TK just fucking jizzes his pants and is like, I run wrestling.
And also,
I am wrestling.
The reason
he's got the Infinity Stones. He's like, this is it.
If we were talking about VKM and the WWE, who were giving us one of these promises, and we're talking about what it's going to be, we would be like, it's going to be Goldberg, it's fucking Taker's coming back, and you're going to wind up upset. Tony Khan does this a lot. When has he disappointed us?
No, he hasn't.
Every time he overhypes something, oversells something, he delivers it. And then sometimes and then some. He gave us Cole and Daniel on the same night.
Except for when Christian came out and everybody thought that was who came out in the ladder match, because didn't Christian come out in the ladder match?
Mm-hmm.
So what if it's like that? Like, Joe won't be a letdown. To the fans, it might be a letdown.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think a lot of the AEW fans were total nonstop action fans back in the day.
Okay.
So, I gotta believe it's Jeff Hardy. I'm gonna go with Jeff Hardy because I feel like ladder match. If he debuts on a ladder match, it's his setting.
Yeah, when you overthink it, Isaiah Cassidy tied to Matt Hardy. It's a qualifier for a ladder match. Jeff just basically told Vince and the WWE to fuck you forever with the 2022 Hall of Fame induction and all that shit, and you fired me over a false drug test. So I think Jeff makes the most sense.
So now with Andrade there, does Andrade's like telling him bring your brother in, get rid of these guys, you guys be the tag team, I'll be the.
That would be interesting.
And then they're forming this new kind of not a 4 horsemen per se, but this new.
Now you need a pop if Jeff comes out and you can't use Loaded. What song are you using to get the Jeff Hardy pop? Are we just using the 2004 Impact where no music came up and it said Jeff Hardy and then the music hit so everyone knew? Because you're blowing a good opportunity. If the music hits and no one knows who it is, you're blowing a good opportunity for a big pop.
Yeah.
Do they use Modest?
I'm reading some forum.
Or Creatures of the Night?
I'm reading forum pages. What about Mustafa Ali?
Interesting. I don't think so because of they refuse to give him his release and they're playing fucking hardball with him right now.
Which is something that seems like to go with the narrative.
I don't think that they would be, because then you're giving up. They want to give if WWE is going to give this opportunity to somebody, it's going to be somebody who plays nice with them. Because if you play nice with us and we're able to control the narrative, then you're going to be rewarded. If you're going to be a problem for us, for the locker room, for business, and try to be a me guy, we're not going to help you out. I mean, name a me guy that wasn't in the Clique or in the NWO that it ultimately long-term worked out for.
Well, I mean...
Warrior tried to fuck Vince, right? And Vince was like, see you later.
Yeah.
And who was bigger than Warrior outside of the guys I just named it for his time?
When Warrior left in '91, when he held him money at SummerSlam, you're talking about?
Yeah. When he held him up right before he was supposed to go.
Well,
through
he came
curtain.
right back into WrestleMania the next year.
Yeah, but it still didn't work for him in the moment. And if you were somebody who was going to be able to strong arm Vince,
Hogan said break his leg. Let's go out there and break his fucking leg.
Because it's like the NFL. No one's bigger than the Shield.
Right.
So I don't think Ali would be rewarded for his actions. I think if it's going to be someone legitimately working, someone who's in their good graces and who is a good representative of the company. I think Rollins is the epitome of that right now. If not Styles. The only reason I wouldn't send Styles over there if I was Vince is because he was the fucking king of the indies for almost 2 decades.
Yeah. Now, Styles is slowly going into that Shawn Michaels to you're going to work with big guys, but you're not going to be like top.
And I think he's okay with that.
Yeah, he's fine.
So the two things that I also found on Tony Khan's Twitter, he says it's somebody who's not currently a free agent, he said. So it's somebody still working, and he said it is a top talent in the world.
So, dude, I think we might have to fucking go. Where in AC is it? How long is it going to take us to drive there?
It's funny
We'll
because
talk about this
a
off
couple
air.
people have said,
3 hours.
So if we're on
Yeah.
the road at 4, we'll get there at 7:30.
well, with traffic, who knows? But a couple people say it's Triple H.
You're going right in the
Yeah.
You said it? You said Triple H? Who said it?
No one said Triple
Oh,
H.
a couple people are saying it's Triple H, and they have it all mapped out for the few months ahead.
Imagine Triple H shows up and has a heart attack.
He feuds with Cody Rhodes, and
God
Cody Rhodes
forbid.
goes over.
Yeah, but Triple H can't work anymore.
I don't think that's what we need.
No, I think Seth, and then
You guys are out of your fucking
No,
minds.
I'm just
Seth
saying this is
Yeah.
super. This is ultimate fan.
If we
Yeah,
all
you
wanted to
say-
cream our pants
you
Wednesday
say-
night,
you
it'd be
s-
Seth Rollins.
You say we're out of our minds with Seth Rollins, but and we didn't even touch on it because I didn't want to because it nauseates me. But the brand split is pretty much coming to an end again. They've never managed the brand split or the remerging of the brands well ever. The brand split, if this does end the brand split, it started with the COVID incident and Brock Lesnar being the free agent and coming over, which then triggered, oh, well, since we lost Lesnar to Raw, we decided to take a top draw from Raw and bring him over to SmackDown to wrestle Reigns. And who was it? It was Rollins.
right.
So Rollins is already being the guy who,
Jumps in.
we lost a big guy, we need a big guy. We need to send a big guy over there. Let's send Rollins. He's the company. He's like the ultimate company guy. I told you, I compared him to Sting from WCW.
Oh yeah. Well, what if they do reform the Shield and they just run roughshod over everybody, and then Kenny's got to come back to save the day?
That would be sick. So say the Shield shows, because you already have the cracks in the armor with the Wwe versus the Super Click.
Right.
Have them kind of, make Cole pick one, and then the Shield comes in and destroys all fucking 5 of them because
Mhm.
they're not united. And then it finally takes Kenny coming back, super elite, super undisputed elite, whatever you want to call it. And they're finally going to get their beating. And I bet you if they do get their beating, it's going to happen on WWE TV. But we're going super down the rabbit hole now on
I mean, this is
just
that's-
fun shit to this is video game booking.
This is
But
like
what do you
fantasy.
Well, continue to talk about the current landscape. I want to look up some stuff.
So
here.
I was going to go into the Inner Circle breakup. They've been teasing this for months with the Proud and Powerful, and then they used Eddie with Proud and Powerful in their experience to really sort of bring it to a head. And then Eddie winds up getting legitimately injured.
How about 2.0 and Daniel Garcia getting over in all this?
Yeah. And I don't like those guys.
I mean,
I think Daniel Garcia is a little unbelievable, and I think part of it is because he's too little.
He's still.
But
he's-
I love Darby, and Darby's little too. But like Darby's the way that you kind of have to get over when you're 160 pounds. He's a little cannonball. Garcia is like
Garcia-
trying to do the super technical cruiserweight deal, which I
Right.
get, but he's just a little, and he's young, right?
Yeah, I think
He could fill out.
I think Matt Lee is incredible.
Is Matt Lee one of the 2.0 guys?
Yeah, he's the good one.
They both to me. Is there a good one?
He's like the louder, like more animated one of the two. So there's Matt Lee, and what's the other one's name?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're the dicks from 2.0 to me.
Yeah. I mean, I like Matt Lee. I think Matt Lee's the star of the two of them.
So we ultimately have the deal in the 6-way match where they won't tag Jericho in,
Yep.
and they're dicking around with him, and Jericho ultimately leaves them, jumps off the apron, and walks away. Now they're having a team meeting on Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Is the breakup's coming? Because they've teased the breakup a few times, and when you look at it, like Sammy's almost not even in the Inner Circle anymore.
Well, he's getting over so big. On his
Hager's
own.
been away with Bellator, and even he was always the body guy anyway, which was fine because he wasn't going to be available all the time, so his role was fine. And they've been dragging Proud and Powerful away from major tag team storylines, and the way that they were writing it with Eddie kind of seems perfect for Eddie to show them the light. Like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything for you. It's all about himself. And I do think the breakup's coming, and then you get to really make what is their name in? They just call them Ortiz and Santana and Ortiz, right? They don't call them Proud and Powerful or LAX or anything like that.
What do you mean?
Like,
Well,
are they known as a tag
they're
team?
called Santana and Ortiz. They're not
right?
called,
They're not called Young Bucks. Like,
they're
what
not
are they
called Proud and Powerful.
No, they are Proud and Powerful.
Yeah, I know, but that's not what they call them on AEW TV, right? They call them just Santana and Ortiz.
I think it's just Santana. I love
So-
them.
No,
They're-
so maybe-
sometimes it's Proud and Powerful, sometimes it's Santana Ortiz. I guess it just depends on what
Yeah.
the announcers are feeling at that point.
So I think it does make sense because Sammy basically doesn't need them anymore, and he's
No.
going to go off on his own. Jericho obviously it was never about Jericho. It was about Jericho using his influence to bring
To get
these
guys
four guys
right.
over. They're all over now.
Yeah.
So you put Proud and Powerful in the tag team, and they're a great tag team, and you go have them fuck off in the tag team division, and there's plenty of loaded talent over there for them to do their thing. And then I think you ultimately wind up, we're going to get Jericho Guevara TNT Championship at Revolution, or possibly Double or Nothing if we want to play the long game.
Could be.
And I think that would be my perfect TNT Championship match for Double or Nothing. Let Sammy hold on to the belt. And then have him and Jericho work a long program.
Well, you could see they're really. I mean, as of right now, Darby and Sting are kind of like the attraction. Then you got Sammy's the TNT champion. You got Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are the tag champions.
On accident.
Well, on accident, but also kind of like I think they were going that way.
Not in that match.
You don't think so?
We know so. Tony Khan. Ray Phoenix got hurt, which the X-rays came back negative. He didn't break anything, which is amazing. Did you see?
Yeah,
he didn't break anything. I think he had ligament damage.
Yeah, which is nuts because that.
And then Tony
back,
Khan
like.
called into Aubrey or Hedburn, whoever was calling the match, and changed the finish on the fly because you could see.
Oh, see, I didn't know.
You could see in Jungle Boy's face he wasn't satisfied.
He X'd it up.
Jungle Boy did?
No, the ref.
The ref did. Yeah.
The ref threw up the
Well,
X.
I mean, my point is that if you look at it, all like MJF and Punk are in like the biggest feud in the company right now. You have, like I said, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are the tag champs. Britt Baker is the AEW champ. Sammy is the TNT champ, and then so you got, and then like I said, Darby and Sting are like the major attraction. Like everybody's excited to see Darby and Sting. So like,
Darby's like the second coming of Sting. In a way, in this way. Let me.
You mean maybe,
during Sting's run at WCW shows, up and down the ramp, all around ringside. If you saw 100 kids there, how many were face painted like little stingers?
85% of them.
And 85% of the kids that are ringside and throughout the arena now are little Darbys with their faces painted.
Darby's cool.
That's what I mean.
I mean,
I'm not going to make the comparison as a worker. Or
you like
importance
Jurassic
to the
Express?
company.
do I like what?
You like Jurassic Express?
I'm not a fan of Luchasaurus.
I think he's a great worker for a big guy.
No, I'm not saying
he's not a regular big guy.
I don't like his character.
I think
it's the Mexican style.
Yeah, I think his character's phenomenal in the sense
especially
that,
as a white American who came up in lucha.
Yeah, it wouldn't get over. I like characters that wouldn't get over in WWE. Right?
I mean,
Luchasaurus would never work in WWE.
He doesn't really work now. I mean,
no.
He's a growling dinosaur. I mean, it's just
no, but the entrance music, people pop to it every time they come out.
That's Jungle Boy. I mean,
that's also AEW is.
That was Jungle Boy's theme in the Indies.
AEW is almost always going to have a leg up on WWE because Vince wants to own IP on everything, and almost everything they use is Jim Johnston recorded,
right,
well,
and original. Not anymore, but
yeah. Now
Tony Khan has showed that he's willing to drop the bag for licensing deals. He went and got Cult of Personality, which obviously he needed.
Oh,
he went
that's
and got
bag.
the Slapshot version of Wild Thing from Moxley, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
He went and got
Slapshot version.
Isn't that from not from Slapshot? Major League. Sorry, Major League.
What a disrespect to Major League, right there.
My mistake. Major League.
Major League is like.
He went and got the Jungle Boy song.
Yeah, the Tarzan Boy.
Yeah.
The Orange Cassidy song. I forget what the name of that.
Yeah, that's by the Cranberries, I think, right?
Is it?
Might not be the Cranberries. I think I looked it up.
Radiohead.
It's not Radiohead. It's like a lesser known band for sure.
Cranberries are pretty known, dude. Cranberries are.
No, I know, but I thought
the lead singer of the Cranberries a female.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look it up. It's like a
then,
they're like a one hit wonder.
And then Ruby's song. That's I mean, I know the story. She has
the Pixies, dude. They're they're not a one hit wonder.
No, she's
That's great.
With the singer from Rancid.
He told her.
Yeah.
I would be honored if you used it. Yeah.
But it's smart. It's smart what they're doing with all that music because it gets the crowd going. You know, Jericho's song is a Fozzy song. You know what I mean? So it's like.
And all of Jeff's music outside of WWE was Peroxygen songs, which is his band.
Oh, okay.
He sang all of his other music.
Right. Well, I mean, I think they're doing the breakup makes sense. I mean, Santana Ortiz.
It's time. It was a good run.
Yeah, they've always kind of been like played second fiddle to everybody else in the group, you know, and they're I mean, the tag team division as a whole is great, but they're a phenomenal tag team. I mean, they deserve a nice title
Yeah,
run.
the tag team division in AEW is very well built.
Loaded.
I
It's
think.
loaded.
And that's the thing now. It's so loaded at the top that
No, it's fine. It's
Malachi
fine.
and Brody King.
Yeah.
And first, if you're gonna show up to that company and call yourself Brody, you better fucking work, dude, because you got balls.
I mean, that's his name, though.
I know, but like,
Can't help it.
it's a company of stage name. It's a world of stage names. and-
No, I understand. He could have changed his name, but I mean, come on.
No, I mean I'm fine with it, but as long as earn it, like go
Yeah.
keep earning it every week. They're amazing. Jurassic Express,
FTR.
FTR, the Luchas when they come back.
The Bucks.
The
Bucks,
Bucks,
so we don't- yeah.
undisputed era.
Yeah.
Adam
Yeah.
Cole working with any one of those four as a tag team.
Private Party. I mean,
The Bear Country, they don't do it for me. 2 thumbs down.
2 thumbs down. He only did 1 thumb, but he actually.
Because I'm holding the mic with you.
Well, all right, I'll do it for you. 2 thumbs down.
Varsity Blonde's good.
I'm
high
not
on
high on them.
Griff's a jobber.
No, I don't think so.
Griff's a jobber.
I don't think so. He's super athletic.
I'm
super
not high on
talented.
either of them.
I love.
No,
I love-
Fine Brian Jr.
No, I don't like Brian
I love
Pillman.
Pillman.
I like Pillman.
I don't like him in the current role. I think he could do. I don't know. I think he's. I don't know. There's something. I don't know, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Something.
They need a mouthpiece. I mean, I think it's like they put 3 really green people together. Julia's really green.
Yeah.
She's like coming out with the eye patch now. She got jobbed out to Jade.
And didn't the whole gimmick come from Jericho saying that they looked like they from Varsity Blues? Isn't
Yeah.
that how he said it on TV,
Yeah.
and that's how the whole gimmick came together?
Yeah, it's
They
like-
threw them together to job on Dark, and that's how it happened.
Like Pillman doesn't have his character. Like his dad was like the loose cannon, but he's like this, like yeah, rah rah, yeah, let's go get him, boys.
well,
And
he's
it's like,
kind of Pillman. They have an interesting opportunity at long term
Who does
character.
he remind me of?
Pillman, his dad. I
No,
don't know.
no. It's a guy from WWE who had the same kind of rah rah.
like Mojo.
Yeah. Thank you.
He's
Okay, so I felt it.
They have the ability with apparently Mojo is also coming back soon to wrestling.
I'm okay without him.
Yeah, I could do that, Mojo.
Me too. He
Ask Cardona what he thinks about.
they have
Mojo.
they have an opportunity with a good opportunity to tell long-term character development and long-term storytelling with Brian Pillman Jr. because the way that I see it is like he's doing this rah-rah thing and he's like all about his dad even though he never met his dad, and it's like he doesn't really know who he is, and you're setting him up for a good genesis of becoming whoever Brian Pillman Jr. is going to become as his own man one day.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if they're thinking about that now, but the seeds are set to tell that story eventually.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like saying they're doing the best work right now, but I think both of those guys have a future if a lot of things fall right for them and if they continue to work.
I'm not saying he's not a good athlete. He can't work. I'm just not high on him. He's bland.
That's fine.
He's bland right now.
Speaking of bland, the last 3.5 months of the AEW World Championship run by Hangman Adam Page, 2 very good matches with Bryan Danielson. Now we're doing this thing with Archer that just kind of came out of left field and seemed rushed. I don't think he's great on the stick. I think he's another guy who's still, like we said when we saw him wrestle Jericho at Double or Nothing, that this guy's the future. But I just don't, he's not there yet. He needs to take the next step in his career, whether that be character-wise, whether that be maybe changing up, like, a heel turn, something, or mouthpiece, an enforcer, because it's not the work.
Like you were saying, I don't think the AEW title means as much as the TNT title because they've done a very excellent job of building the TNT title. And I think with Omega having the strap and then passing it to Hangman, he had a great, like, this is a good push for you. You beating Omega means a lot. And then the feud with Bryan beating him twice means a lot. But now, like you said, I think this is just a transitional. We need something.
Which we need transitional champions now, and
not transitional champion.
No, transitional feud.
Transitional feud with
Transitional
Archer.
feud with Archer, and I think whatever he's doing next, whether that's like you said, Page, whether that's Moxley, whether that's not Page, sorry, Cole or Moxley or Bryan again.
It seems like it's going to be Cole.
Probably Cole. I mean, Cole makes sense. Cole,
I would love to see Cole at Revolution. Some sort of fuckery with whatever their stable has got going on right now. The 2 stables.
Do you think they're
button
done now?
heads.
The best friends and Super Click?
Do I think they're what?
Like they're done now? Like the feud is done? Like that was the culmination of that feud?
Well, they're kind of best friends are kind of feuding with FTR now, aren't they?
Well, I'm saying the best friends faction. So like Statlander, Cassidy, Wheeler Yuta, Rocky Romero, and then
Chucky T, Trent.
Trent. That's like a stable now.
Yeah,
and Danhausen is in there now too.
Which is weird. I think I don't know, the Danhausen thing being with them is a little weird. Even Chuck Taylor tweeted it after Danhausen's debut. He was like, "Is at Danhausen AD in my faction now?"
Well, Danhausen should sure to be by himself.
Should 100%.
Not everybody needs a fucking.
The best friends
clique.
are kind of becoming that collection of oddballs, and I think that's why they wanted to throw him in there.
Yeah.
But if his leg's broken and he can't work, then I understand
gotta
getting
do
him on the
something,
show
right.
right away. But once he can work, I think they should split him off.
Because he's over like crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, people who like I know Anthony, you're not too familiar.
No,
with
I'm not,
Danhausen,
yeah.
But Danhausen is over like Rover. I mean, the guy has like I think he's in the top 5 selling shirts every month on Pro Wrestling
Yeah.
Tees.
Well, how you described them to me, I could totally see it. You know what I'm saying? Had the whole kind of cursing people and
Well, he's like-
saying everybody's name wrong and
Again, his characters, he's very nice, he's very evil, he's a demon from another dimension. He's got like godlike features about him, which is like part of his character. But then he gets in the ring and he works like you would expect a guy of his size and stature to work.
right.
It's not like he's getting in there and he's like, he's not Joey Ryan penis wrestling or whatever. You know what I mean? He's like,
Joey Ryan,
no,
fuck
he
that guy.
takes himself seriously in the ring. You know what I mean? He has like this very outlandish character, but then when the bell rings, he can go.
Right.
So we'll see what they do with him.
Yeah, I'm not very. I mean, we'll see where there is to go with Hangman, but right now his title run is a little lackluster in my
Well,
opinion.
I just think it's just this transitional feud, and then we'll see what they do with him after this feud is over.
I think
I want to
Wednesday
feel-
night is obviously going to show a lot of
I want to feel
Hangman's future, because if that's a real big name like Tony says it's going to be, I mean, is it almost a guarantee that this guy's going to win the ladder match and then go? If it's a monster like Rollins or a Hardy or a Samoa Joe or even an Okada, which I think we kind
But
of
this is
ruled
just
out.
the qualifying match. This is not.
Yeah, then they get in the ladder match, and if they win that ladder match,
Is the
they're
ladder match on?
on the Face of the Revolution match.
So they're going to open the show with this big reveal. Then I guess.
They probably have to.
Yeah.
So wait, so it opens with that and it ends with the ladder match.
No, that's at Revolution.
okay. I was gonna say yeah.
When is Revolution?
April maybe.
Oh, okay. So
Maybe I'm not sure. March.
Yeah, because they're going to drag out the MJF CM Punk. They're going to.
Yeah.
The one thing I wanted to say now, I'm obviously none of us are insiders here. We're mostly just fans who like to talk shoot the shit. Do we, if Omega's not hurt and has to leave to have his shoulder surgery, is he still the champ right now?
Probably.
Yeah.
Hangman never.
But Hangman was injured, so when Hangman came back,
I don't know though, because Hangman needed that kind of a win to make him
Yeah.
legitimate as champ. Kenny could have dropped it to. There was only a small handful. I mean, he could have dropped it to Bryan. He could have dropped it to
not yet, not yet.
Cody, but not that Cody can get in there.
Yeah.
But Jericho, like, there's only a handful of people he could.
They did it right.
To.
I want to feel, right, as a fan, I want to feel how I felt when Paige returned and then got that pop originally and then him going over on Omega. Like, I want to feel that culmination every World Championship time. Every time it changes hands, I want to feel that.
Yeah, I mean,
Right? So right now, obviously, Archer ain't going to be the guy. That's fine.
no.
But I want it, when it eventually happens, I want it to be something like, all right, we built this. This is what it's supposed to be. This is who it's supposed to be. Not that it's obvious, but that it's well-earned and well-deserved. And I think that makes the title reigns worth it, right? So you look back on Kenny Omega's title reign, and if you're asking me on a scale of 1 to 10, what Jericho's title reign was, I would say 10. I'd say ushering in a new era with this whole AEW thing and kind of being the first champion and doing it how he did it. I'd say 10. Everything around it, he did. I mean, who could have done it better, honestly?
And it legitimized the company.
So then it goes-
legitimized the
Well,
belt.
there's only
Then it goes to Moxley.
Well, there's only been three champions.
Right.
It was
So Jericho, Moxley,
Omega, and then Hangman. So
Right.
Hangman's the 4th champion.
So what I'm saying is, so you go from Jericho 10, then you go to Moxley, not 8 or 9, still very good run, right? And then I go back to Omega and I'm like 9, 10 because it's just so right. So right now,
Well, this goes back to what I was saying before with WWE
Longevity.
and all the title changes.
right?
It means the title make nothing. This title, it feels important. It feels like it should mean something. So if Hangman's not getting like what Whitebird is saying is like you're this feud, it feels like you're lessening the title.
100%.
Where you need to bring it back up, and if Hangman's not able to do that, then they're going to have to transition the title.
So
off of him.
what I'm saying is, right now, Hangman might be viewed as a 5 title run, right? But let's get past this.
No, you got to give him better than that. He beat Omega and then he beat Bryan twice. I mean, this is literally his third feud when it comes to him in the title.
It's like I said.
All right, so
and this is just a transition. We all know it's a transition.
he had 3 very good title matches. The one where he beat Omega and the 2 against Bryan. It's not about the matches. The matches are great. I know he can work. I know he's top 10 in the company in the ring.
You're saying just
it's everything.
overall presentation.
Wrestling is not just about the work in the ring because
that's not what I'm saying,
if you're
though.
boring, I think it's just been relatively bland, relatively boring, and I think I never thought he needed.
Yeah, but what was,
I never thought he needed Dark Order, but I think ever since he got the belt and kind of pushed him away, it's been
let me
getting more and more like it's like white bread toast, you know?
I know, but let me put it to you this way: the build up to him and Omega was good, correct?
Yes.
The small but good build up with him and Bryan was good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that had to do more with Bryan than him.
Which is fine. It doesn't always have to be on
Yeah,
the champion.
Yeah.
So yes, like right now it feels like it's a 5, but the first part of it, that first whatever 2 months, 3 months of it has been very well done. So you can't say that it's been a 5.
I think we get past this, and I think once we like really look at it in its entirety when it's over, I think we go 8, 9, 10. I think it's going to be somewhere over there. I think that's
it's so early in the
Early. Well, we don't know though.
because like
you said, if it's Wyndham, if it's God, if it's Seth Rollins, if it's Tyler Black, if it's Tyler Black, I guess I got to call him Tyler Black, right? If it's if it's somebody like that, they have to win, right?
I think if it is Rollins, he's Seth Rollins. I don't think if he shows up in a capacity where if he shows up and he's Tyler Black, that means he's shutting the door on Vince, which I don't think he's going to do.
He'll be Seth Rollins.
He'll be Seth Rollins, and it'll be one of these, like licensing deals. Like it's like how Sony licensed Spider-Man to Marvel.
What's his real name? Is his
Tyler
real name?
Black.
No, his real name's Kobe Martinez.
Oh, I thought Tyler Black.
You know what? Check me on that because I don't want to sound racist, but it's a Spanish name. I know his first name's Kobe, Colby.
Okay.
I don't want to lock in Martinez
Okay.
because I don't want to be like, oh, this guy just picked a Spanish sounding name because that's not what it was. That's just what I thought.
Right.
So,
I mean, I'm just saying.
Do you have it?
someone apparently just signed a contract with AEW
Who?
minutes ago.
Who?
Keith Lee.
Yeah, we knew that this was coming.
So, do you think he's the guy Wednesday?
That's not a forbidden door. His 90-day
He
was.
signed a contract.
He was a free agent.
If they're gonna put out Keith Lee is all elite.
If it is Keith, if they put out Keith Lee as all elite before Wednesday, then it's 100% not him.
Yeah.
Colby Lopez.
Lopez. Sorry, not Martinez. So I do apologize for that. It's Colby Lopez.
Anyway, I think I don't think you can say that it's been a bad title reign. I just think it's been a short one that you want more because the beginning of it was so excellent, and now it's kind of like but he's not the main. I mean, right now the main storyline in the company is CM Punk and MJF.
Yeah, right. But like even Kenny wasn't the main storyline during his entire run when he was doing the belt collector shit. And I know there were other pieces to that because he wasn't by himself. Because Kenny's another guy who by himself, we haven't seen it yet, so I'm just not positive how much he could carry the show on the stick. Because he did have the Bucks who were heat magnets.
Yeah,
he did have
is Callis still there?
Don Cal. I mean,
because Callis and Omega I think go hand in hand.
And yeah, I think Callis will be back when Kenny comes back. But it was like even though he had everybody in the elite, including Don Callis, with him, and it wasn't just him, which is fine because I'm saying maybe Hangman might need something like that. Whenever Kenny was out there, it didn't feel boring. Like I never really got, even when he's coming out with the 5 belts and it's almost the same promo every week, there was always something. Callis just being a shithead, making you be like, oh, that's good work. Like I don't think it was always entertaining for the most part. And that might not be fair to say because we're talking about like a 10-month reign versus 3 months.
It's just there's no build to this, the Archer and him. It just kind of happened.
Yeah,
no, but that's also
that happens in wrestling sometimes.
No, and that's Archer's character too. Archer is very he's sort of a loose cannon. He sort of can just show up anytime, anywhere. Everybody dies. I mean, he's like he's. So we'll see. What they could go out and have a great match, like you said, but it doesn't really mean a lot because we all know Archer's not taking the title off of him.
No way.
I mean, if it happens, I would be
shocked.
You probably wouldn't be able to pick my jaw up off the floor.
Yeah.
It's like Doudrop and Becky. You knew Doudrop had no shot in winning that match.
100%.
Is there anything else we need to cover in AEW?
I mean, do we have to talk about Punk and MJF or just that's been good?
I didn't see Dynamite, so I didn't see the match. I heard
Punk
it was
takes the loss.
good. I heard he got choked out with the tape, and then the referee started the match, and then still a distraction victory, right?
I don't want to shit on the match because it wasn't bad. I think it was a little plotting at points, like because it was a 3 commercial match if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it was a 2 commercial match, which it's hard to for me at least.
Stay invested.
Yeah, because like you get to the you're into it. They're having a good back and forth. They're telling a good story, and then it's the commercial, and I'm listening to an Allstate commercial while I'm trying to keep myself vested into the match.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did you feel that way against the hour-long time limit draw? First time Hangman and Bryan Danielson won, because that's about 3 or 4 commercial breaks they wrestled through.
Yeah. No, because I think they gave it more time in between before.
My point is that it's not the
yeah, but that's also a marathon. You
It's-
knew you were getting into a marathon there. You know what I mean?
I think that the Hangman and Bryan, I think they had a half an hour before they went to commercial. Where the Punk and MJF match, they were into a commercial in 10 minutes.
Right.
And Punk is a notoriously slow starter.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't get into his matches and they're like bang off the. He likes to ease. He's like Bret Hart. He likes to ease into the match. So 10 minutes into a match, he's just getting going.
Right.
So now you're like, oh, here we go. And then it's like, Liberty car insurance. And I'm like, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's a feud that we could really not talk about, but we still got probably another month till, or even more, right? Like I didn't look.
They
up
might
when
drag. They
Revolution
might
was.
drag this out till Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
In May.
So I don't know. Quick notes if this is the end of the AEW segment.
yeah, and then we're gonna do
Cesaro is a free agent this year. Finn Balor, Edge, Goldberg. Those are just some. Shane McMahon obviously not there. Those are just some guys who contract expired. I'm just trying to think that if it is somebody from WWE, it's probably going to be someone with not a lot of left on their contract, just because logistically, from a business standpoint, you're going to want to probably only get sued or have to buy out the last couple.
outside of Rollins, and then we'll move into the awards of the month. Outside of Rollins, both of you give me two people you'd pop the most for. Why do you go first?
Wyndham. Obviously, I'd be very, very excited for Wyndham. Samoa Joe, I'd pop for. I mean, I think those are realistic. Wyndham and
They're realistic. I just don't know if they fit the Forbidden Door mold. But
no, but I mean, just those would be two guys. I mean, I wouldn't be upset to see either one of those guys.
I like your picks. I do. If we're going Forbidden Door, Mac Cardona, because technically he's working for somebody else, right?
Yep, GCW.
Jesus. Give me Cesaro. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Cesaro. If we're taking somebody from WWE who I could realistically see making the jump, or that maybe Vince would let,
Claudio
go,
Castagnoli.
Claudio.
I think he would do. That guy could work. He would do wonders
100%.
there. And if he gets put in that ladder match, I don't feel like he needs to win it. So I feel good about that. It's not something that I feel like he has to just vie for the title and win right. Like Wyndham would really throw a fucking monkey wrench into everything, because now I feel like, how are you going to put that guy in a title match and not give him the strap, unless it's something like Daniel Bryan? But you can't go to draws over and over and over and over again. You can't overthink the booking.
Yeah.
So
Who you got, White Bread?
If it's not a WWE guy, I would love to see Moose.
Moose.
I would love to see Moose. That guy.
Moose was supposed to be in the Rumble. They were saying they tried to contact him for the Rumble.
Moose for the Rumble. And then WWE, not Seth Rollins. I mean, if fucking Balor comes out with the cape
Roman
on,
Reigns.
If Balor comes out with the as the Prince with the cape on and his fucking old school getup before they turn the Demon King into a young child's comic book character, I think a lot of people forget he's the guy that really made the Bullet Club work more than anybody else, and that he was the most over out of all of them in New Japan. And in a company where you don't need to be a monster in terms of size to get over, like with WWE, I think he transitions like better than Adam Cole would to AEW, and that would be my most. But I would like to see him come and tell Vince fuck off.
Sure.
And I'm not talking about Finn Balor shows up. I'm talking about Prince Fergal Devitt shows up. And now you throw an even deeper monkey wrench into the Undisputed Era Elite Bullet Club.
Right.
100%.
Because now Balor's either going to show up and say, "Get it together, guys. What the fuck's going on?" Or he's going to show up and super kick Adam Cole and This is
And
the
say,
fucking.
"What are you
Bullet-
doing?"
Well, this
Yeah.
is Bullet Club. Fuck, you want to be Undisputed Era? Fuck, you're either with us or against us.
Yeah. No, that'd be interesting.
Let me just say this: where WWE has 0 to no anticipation for anything, AEW continually has this massive expectation and intrigue and mystery that just keeps everybody vested.
Listen to what you just said. You couldn't have said it better. We have 3 grown men in this room who were semi-legitimately talking about going to Atlantic City for one night
I'm legitimately considering
to
it.
see a show, right, around speculation.
Right.
That is unbelievable. 3 grown men, one with a kid, that they're even debating it. That's unbelievable. Because if you told me WWE was in Madison Square Garden tomorrow, I'd be like, I don't know.
Part of that is it's the cheapest seat in the Garden for WWE.
No, yeah, but forget that because it's still
because
gonna
I would never consider dropping fucking I would never consider making this a $500 day on Wednesday to go see Dynamite, but because we could get in the building for $30,
yeah, but it is, but it is still a couple
we could
$100.
split. I mean, yeah, but if the ticket's $200, now you're talking about a sub.
I get it.
$500, $600, $700.
But money aside, I wouldn't.
So what Twitter is now is what back in the day the hotlines were. So back in the day, you could call like out forever for the rest of my life, 1-900-909-9900. Me and Gene Okerlund on WCW television. Call the hotline 1-900-909-9900. How do I remember that fucking number? Because me and Gene Okerlund on a weekly basis. 2 top WWE superstars will be making their way to WCW. Call the hotline to find out. So now Tony Khan is doing the same thing with Twitter and saying, listen, Wednesday night, you better be there on TNT or TBS because on TBS, there's going to be a fucking giant surprise.
And you better have that TV turned on at fucking 7:58.
It's brilliant. And what Vince is not doing, he should pick up pointers from Tony Khan because Tony Khan is doing that all.
Which is crazy to say.
Yep.
Yeah, right. All right, so we got what are the awards here? We
Yeah,
do best feud.
Feud / angle of the month.
I'm gonna
match
go.
of the month.
Reigns and Brock continue to reign.
Feud of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Feud of the month is
it's Reigns and Brock for me too.
So for feud of the month, I had Adam Cole / the whatever you want to call whatever the Super Click
Undisputed Super Click
versus
era.
best friends. I think just this last month they've had a lot of matches. I think they've kept that storyline going really well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought if it's the culmination of it, I thought they did a great job with the finish of that match with them diving off the top of the stage. I think that was for me that was the feud of the month.
Okay.
Not the match. I'm just saying the overall.
Yeah, it's not a bad one.
And like
not a bad one.
the way they've been doing, like the auxiliary members getting matches in. Brandon Cutler, what he's been doing with it, just coming out and getting jobbed out by these guys. Wheeler Yuta going out and having matches with Adam Cole and having matches with the Bucks. I think who was it? Trent and Nick had a match, which was like a great match. So it's like those 2 cliques feuding with each other was the
right.
No, I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like the Lesnar Reigns feud. We've come to grow accustomed to a certain sort of formula around Roman Reigns, around Brock Lesnar, and around Paul Heyman, and they've done a lot of things to break the status quo. And I think a lot of it has Heyman's fingerprints all over it.
Yep.
Like to the Heyman double cross,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not even finished. Like Heyman might still be in bed with Brock the whole time. We don't know yet. Like I think they towed that line perfectly. And with the Uso situation and Reigns not really actually getting the clean win over Rollins, I think it's been a good, different from what we've seen.
We
from
could
their
say that
program.
this booking has started.
This is what we've been asking for.
But how long is this? How long ago did this start?
Been going on for over a year.
Yeah, over a year ago.
Well, Reigns and Brock have been going on for 3 years.
More than that, you figure.
4?
What was the WrestleMania where Seth cashed in?
4 years ago.
2016.
Yeah, and then they wrestled again. A year or 2 later? No, then it was Triple H the next year with Roman, and then Undertaker and Roman. But then it was Brock and Roman then, right?
Brock and Roman. This is the 3rd time they're meeting up, right?
Yeah, at Mania.
No, 3rd time in a singles match,
At Mania.
and then the 4th time because Rollins cashed in, right?
Yeah.
So, if you're gonna culminate the story this time, right? I think. So what do we do? Best match of the month?
Match, yeah.
All right. I'm gonna say, and it's not really how it worked, but it's what sets it up. It wasn't the working in the match, but I'm gonna say Brock and Bobby. And I know you're thinking like, oh, that wasn't really that good of a match, but the Heyman swerving back now, I think that when they fight at Mania, I hope it's not title for first title. I hope it's not.
It will be, but
I hope they
I
don't.
don't mind it. If they're going to unify it and like legitimately unify it and try to make the title mean something.
Yeah, but
keep it on
see, now
Roman,
you're saying
so-
if, you know, it's like a
It's
bunch
lot
of what ifs. So anyway, but hopefully they don't. If they do, whatever. But I think that this match is going to be their last match together for a good long while. And I think that I think we have oh God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. A 5-star match on our hands. I think that Lesnar and Reigns are going to work in this match. I think that you're going to see the best of Lesnar, and I think you're going to see what we've come to know at Reigns. I think it's going to be a longer match. I think there's going to be theatrical aspect of the Usos and
Suplex City
and-
bitch. That was like the line of that match, their first match.
Yeah.
Suplex City bitch.
yeah,
I popped so hard for that.
yeah, and I think you're going to see.
Cena.
No. That was
No, that was
Roman at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and then he did Cena and he destroyed Cena at SummerSlam. But I think you're going to see the Usos. I think you're going to see Heyman be involved. I think that it's going to be a very culminating over I think like 4 years, and I think it ends with Reigns standing tall. I hope, I really do, and also I think with Bobby Lashley, I'm okay with it. Because they could have done title versus title right now, right? Like, what was preventing them? I guess someone winning the Rumble, right? And then you'd have to figure out a way to swerve
set
that.
it up.
You can't pick both of them. You got to pick one of the champions if you win the Royal Rumble. So, like, say Riddle won, he would have to pick. I'm going to wrestle the WWE champion.
Right. There was he had to have a way, right? Unless he did what Charlotte did,
Right.
And picked the NXT champion.
Well, yeah, but that's Charlotte. Oh yeah, she picked Rhea Ripley.
Right. So Riddle could have won and chose Breaker, and that would have been a pretty good match. I would have been okay with
Right,
that.
but back in those matches, NXT they were 10 NXT stars, 10 SmackDown stars, 10 Raw stars. They made a point to have no NXT people, even surprises, come in.
Right.
So I
right,
think
right.
that would, even though
No, I'm just-
technically you
yeah.
could,
Because I don't want I think Bobby Lashley's having one of the best runs of his career.
right. So now this is a conversation for another pod, but if they do go title versus title and Brock wins at Elimination Chamber, what do you do with Bobby at Mania?
That's what I'm saying.
What do you do with Rollins at
you're
Mania?
You're
What do you
spoiling the
do?
whole thing. But that's my match.
Now, my answer to that question is now you're running out of time to get it done, but there's all of these top guys that are like on the fringe and then fucking around, and we have 2 mid-card belts that have no legitimacy to them anymore. So why can't Rollins find his way into an IC or US title match at Elimination Chamber instead of having him as a throw-in in the actual Elimination Chamber match? He goes over Damian
Because that's
Priest.
not what they do, though.
I
Jim.
know, but that's the problems that we keep talking
Yeah,
about.
but forget. But like what he said, stop thinking about it. That's not what they do. I don't think Rollins or Bobby Lashley is competing for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. It's not happening.
The thing with this WrestleMania is that WrestleManias are either a jumping point, like a starting point,
Or an ending point.
An ending point. And this WrestleMania very much to me feels like an ending. This is going to end. This is the culmination of the Brock Roman story. So
it has to be.
and unless they're going to put Brock over, which just doesn't, it's just they're going to continue this WWE.
It doesn't make
style
sense,
booking,
man.
Which is very possible. You can't when you watch it, you can't go, oh God, they went, because that's very possible. What they can just take the safe road. But to me, if they're smart, which we all know that they're not, well, you can't say that, but you understand what I'm saying when I say that they're not smart, that they're probably going to culminate the Roman's going to vanquish Brock. Brock's going to move more into the attraction match. He's going to, and that's what they should do.
Yeah, 100. I agree, 100%.
But I do think that this is a culmination that's going to end, and then a new.
We're getting off topic,
Yeah,
but the
so-
night after Mania is when when you see a lot of people debut or you see a little bit of roster turnover, right? In that sense, I don't think there's going to be much of that this year.
We'll see. I mean, I think again, the main focus of WWE right now is Roman Brock.
Yeah.
And the culmination.
Let's say the Forbidden Door guy is nobody of any importance. The night after WrestleMania could be Wyndham returning, right? As the Fiend just say, and it could be Baylor, Cesaro, the guys that they held out for Mania, because they know that the day after Mania is the big kind of return and
freshen up storylines.
right,
freshen
exactly.
Up,
Now you got to hit the reset button, like you said. It's the end, so now we got to restart this thing. So
So
that
my
was our match. What was your match?
My match of the month. Now this might a little bit of a homer pick, just because of the DNA of the pro wrestling fan in me. It's the TNT Unified Championship ladder match between Cody and Sammy Guevara. That cutter from off the 20-foot ladder is an amazing bump. The Sammy fucking senton from the ladder to the ladder, wicked sick bump.
Yes, was sick.
A lot of people say maybe you don't need it, and you don't, but I don't not need it. At the same time,
Need it.
I'm not upset by it. Do I need it to tell the story?
No,
No. But am I upset by it? Absolutely not.
definitely a spectacle that match. 100%
And it's just to discredit anybody who's hating on Cody right now and say, so I read somebody said Cody looks checked out when he's in the ring. He's more interested in being an actor and being on the Go Big Show.
bullshit.
You can't say that about
Yeah,
someone that eats a
bullshit.
fucking 20-foot drop cutter.
Right.
No way.
No.
So that's my match of the month.
I actually had that as my runner-up, Cody and Sammy. I thought that was a phenomenal match. I also had Seth and Roman on here just for the story that they told.
Seth and Roman would be my number 2.
But my match of the month is kind of out of left field. I'm taking Matt Cardona and Joey Janela at GCW Homecoming.
I heard great things.
I don't know if either of you saw that.
Just parts,
So-
not in entirety.
Cardona and Janela have been going back and forth on Twitter. I don't know if you guys know this, but back in the day, Ric Flair and Macho Man, when they were feuding, they took pictures of Macho Man and Elizabeth, and they superimposed Rick over the Macho Man to make it look like Rick was like at the pool with Miss Elizabeth, and then like going out to dinner with Miss Elizabeth. So Janela did something similar with Chelsea, and there's a picture of Chelsea laying on her stomach, and she's got like a thong on, and Janela's like standing over, like looking at her ass like this. So they were going back and forth on Twitter. So the build to the match was good, and it culminated when Brian Myers got in the ring. Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah.
And he was in an all black outfit with a biker helmet on. Spears Janela through a table, and takes his mask off. Big reveal. It's Brian Myers. Chelsea and Cardona did this thing where Cardona was wearing a cup, but Chelsea gave him a low blow, and then gave Janela the low blow, and then Cardona pulled the cup out to
Show you that it was a work.
right. And then Cardona ended the match with a radio silence through the table with Janela,
Which is the Rough Rider, right?
it's the Rough Rider.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that move.
No, I mean it is what it is. But I think that plays into the character he's playing, like this, like this. He's like the king of the death match and all the shit. He's like this
King
like,
of the Indies, he's calling himself now.
He's
Yeah.
like this super clean guy. Well, he just beat what's her name on Impact he wrestled a girl on Impact. Like he's doing like
All kinds of
all
shit.
kinds of shit.
Which is awesome for him.
And he came out, by the way, GCW. That was Homecoming, or that was no, it was the
It was at the Hammerstein Ballroom in the city.
yeah, it
And
was the world on GCW.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So
Hammerstein Ballroom. He comes out with the
Mick
the
Foley-
Mick Foley shirt, the
Mhm,
red, and it
mhm.
said "fuck Mick Foley" on the back.
Yeah.
Not only that, his theme music was his theme song, but it started with the Enter Sandman, which was Sandman's theme song.
Yeah, and he came out doing the beer thing too, right?
Yeah. So, and then not only that, but it ended with he's now going to be feuding with X-Pac because X-Pac is returning to the ring.
Which God help
No,
you,
he's
Sean.
in phenomenal shape.
Is he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's like super
Makes me
clean.
nervous.
How's his heart?
No,
Makes
he's
me
good.
nervous.
How's his heart?
No, he's good.
How are his lungs? Like
Good.
how are his organs? How's
Hey,
his
fuck,
liver?
we gotta look. What
Well,
the
he
fuck?
came in the ring. He gave Cardona the Bronco, not the Bronco Buster, the X Factor.
Mhm.
And then he went to do the Bronco Buster, but Cardona got out of the way. So I think the match as a whole was like a gaga spectacle,
Yeah.
but like so well booked, so well executed. And for me, that was the match.
And the ballroom was rocking, and that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
matters most in indie wrestling.
So can I just transition to Wrestler of the Month?
Yeah.
Because I'm picking Matt Cardona. I mean, you chose.
I had him
month.
last month, yeah.
So I'm picking him this month. I think his match with the girl on TNA, if you haven't seen it, it was a phenomenal match. Again, just being this heel character that he's being right now is just phenomenal. What he's doing on Twitter with like feuding with all these different people was phenomenal. I think he's killing it on the indies. He's putting GCW on the map. And I think he's just the wrestler.
I love that the indies still do intergender matches and intergender tag team
Yeah.
matches where the tag doesn't mean you both have to swap out
Right.
like we do on major.
I just don't
cities.
understand when it's entertainment. Like we know it's not
Yeah,
real,
yeah, we know it's
and they
fake.
make it known that it's not real. So why can't we have that?
And
I don't
Well,
understand.
I
think,
said
like
to
if
I
you-
said to Emily 2 weeks ago, if AEW did that and they let Chris Statlander wrestle the men, she'd be the best thing in wrestling.
probably.
Because she's had plenty of great, like
Yeah.
3-4 star matches with men across the indie circuit, and she's big enough and strong enough to do it.
I forget the girl's name, but if you go Google, it's like their Impact equivalent of the Zack Ryder's Internet Championship is what they wrestled. Him and the girl wrestled for, and they put on a good match. He won with a chair shot. He hit her with a fucking chair shot.
Crazy.
I'm gonna go. I was gonna go. I'm gonna go Matt Cardona too. I have Adam Cole as runner-up for basically more of the same reasons that you said. I mean, guy's on fire. He's doing what Cody Rhodes did, basically, right? When Cody Rhodes became a free agent.
Yeah.
And it shows you that you don't need to be.
He's doing what Cody Rhodes did because of what Cody Rhodes did.
Right. But it shows you don't need to be in these major promotions to get attention.
Instead of being the company guy, he's going all in on himself. He's betting on
Which
himself.
is, you know
Which
what?
is what they all should do.
Dude. It's damn short time for him.
You were never an employee of WWE. You were a contracted
Right.
athlete.
Well,
you know?
that's not how they treated him. So.
Well, and that's not how he viewed himself. He viewed himself as I'm a company guy. I'm
Yeah.
whatever the company wants me to
And
do.
with the
because riders like you, roughly the same age as you, a lot of similar interests to you, and just growing up the same time period you did. I'm sure he's a Hulk guy, he's a Warrior guy, and he's a Vince guy.
He loves WWE.
He's a WWE
down
guy
to his
through and
core.
through.
It's a
And
WWE mark.
I think he will
Yeah.
be there again eventually, as long as there's some sort of verbiage in the contract or handshake promise with Vince that he's not going to be treated like a fucking jobber. Yeah, my guy. It's Adam Cole, baby, for me.
Yeah.
Like I said it, I think last time we were on the show, he's on the trajectory to be one of the hottest things in the entire business, and it's good that they're slow playing it right now.
Yeah.
I just want to say I had two runners up. I had Cody as my runner up because Cody consistently comes on the show, and every time he comes on the
But
show,
he has to. And he knows
No,
he has
that's
to.
not. You can't.
He has
that's-
to if he to keep the fan base from turning on you completely.
Yes.
And not giving him the Cena treatment. That's not what I mean. I mean where you're no longer getting reactions and people literally do not give a fuck if you're there or not. If you're going to disappear for 3 months at a time and do the Keeping Up with the Rhodeses or whatever that show's called, and then you're going to do the Go Big show for 6 weeks,
Then you have to have that
and you're going to probably go show back up on heels at some point, and you need to fucking come out there and leave everything in the ring when you show up, or you're going to lose the hardcore fans.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to. Like that's the thing. He doesn't. He's,
I think in Cody's mind, if he's going to go out there, he's going to give you everything he has.
Well, then that's why I'm giving it to him, because he decides he's going to go out and be the best wrestler every time he's out there.
Can I also ask you something? Because, and this is for both of you, but I think Whitey has more into it. We know he's always had a little bit of the Dusty lisp. He's doing it on purpose, right? Because when he's on Go Big Show, it's pretty cleaned up. When he was on WWE, it was pretty cleaned up. When he's acting, it's pretty cleaned up. When he came out and cut that promo a few weeks ago, he was like leaning into the Dusty.
Well, you missed Dusty. Like you both of you guys missed him. And Dusty, there was the WWF, and then there was Dusty with the NWA / Jim Crockett Promotions / WCW.
Deep South, right? Wasn't Deep South involved with them?
Not necessarily.
Not as much.
Not necessarily. I mean, and he was part of the NWA. He was booking for Jim Crockett Promotions, which eventually became WCW. So he wants and Dusty is responsible for Starrcade. Dusty is responsible for the Bunkhouse Stampede. Dusty is responsible.
Halloween Havoc, Great American Bash.
I don't know.
Definitely Great American Bash.
Definitely Great American Bash. I don't know about Halloween Havoc. I think was somebody else came up with that. But Dusty is responsible for a majority of those pay-per-views and majority of the booking of those pay-per-views. You know what I mean? And would go out and have the best match with the
And he's responsible for a lot of the promo work on a lot of the top guys in WWE right now.
He wears it right on his chest. Dream. I mean,
yeah.
He aspires to be his dad. And if that's what he aspires to do, then good on him, because his dad is one of the greatest of all time.
Because when he cut that promo, he honestly turned it on and then turned it off during that promo.
Oh, yeah.
He started the promo really lisping it up, really like leaning into the Dusty on the S's and the T's and stuff. And then by the end, when he started screaming about how I'm not going to turn heel, da-da-da-da, it was almost gone again.
Right.
So I was listening to it. I was like, he's dialing that up on purpose. And
sure.
Emily was like,
Could
I
be.
don't know if he is. I'm like, no, he is. Because when he's acting, it's almost gone.
Right.
Imagine succeeding at everything you do, like Cody Rhodes has. Even when he was in WWE and he was given bad gimmicks, he still did well.
The plastic mask, the mustache,
but then
Stardust.
he leaves.
What if it's Stardust fighting Isaiah
That
Cassidy?
would be amazing. Amazing.
Great
But
sweat.
then he leaves. And he does the indie thing, and he kills it. And with no restriction, We see how big he could actually be, right? When he was being, we'll say it held back by WWE. We see how big he could be. Then he transitions to a completely different role of now I'm on TV, now I'm on this, now I'm on that, now I'm seen in this executive position. Now I got to be in business meetings with suits and all that, and he still kills it. So it's like the guy is just transitioning, to different parts of his life over and over and over and over again. He does such a good job.
He has rewritten himself to be in that Rock's, Hogan conversation one day by the time it's all said and done.
Yep.
That's January.
Yeah.
Got anything else? Ready to close the show out? We're pushing over 2.5 right now.
Last thing I just want to say is GCW is the number 3 company in the world.
100%.
They are the things they are doing, the promotion they're doing, the shows they're putting on.
If you got them a TV deal with somebody who wasn't afraid of the rated R kind of wrestling they're doing,
Vice TV.
Yeah, they would definitely overtake Impact right away because Fight is not available. I don't have.
You're
Fight.
talking globally, or you're talking
They're
domestically for sure. They're number 3.
The number 3 wrestling.
I want to just say I was okay. You're
I
saying
don't know.
You're not putting them ahead of New Japan.
Yeah, right.
I'm saying their business model. I know they're not money making the number 1 like the number 3.
No.
But they're just in
terms
overall,
Well, let's
ratings, rankings.
we
talk wrestling rankings.
We talk about all the things that make Tony Khan such a great booker and promoter and owner. Brett Lauderdale. Brett Lauderdale has been in the business forever, and he came up from a referee to an interview guy to a ringside guy to a booker to a writer to now the owner of GCW. This is a guy
putting the ring together.
Yeah.
Sweeping up the lights after the match. That was his job.
Yeah.
And now he's like the corporate GCW.
and the owner. He owns GCW. Yeah, GCW. They're definitely on the upward track. Yeah. I think by the time I realized what the deal was, it was too late.
Next year?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Boy,
All right.
All right, so as always, brought to you by House of Havoc Podcasting, Tiger Pack Productions, Stay Thirsty Company, and Sachi Di Dinero. Peace out.